Holy Winter, we are live. Welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast, where we talk about everything theme parks, amusement parks from all over the world. If you are listening to this on podcast, then just to remind you that we do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. That's UK time here on YouTube. So come and get involved in the chat. So yeah, how are we all doing, guys? You all good?
Good. All good.
Yes. All good,
Excited
good.
for this show. Excited.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
Bingo,
Bingo.
Good one.
Get that bingo card ready.
Get your bingo
They're going
cards
hard.
ready.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great because obviously, if you was watching last week's episode, you would have known that Luke and James were away at Phantasialand, which means even though James has been to Phantasialand before, it just means we now have all been to Phantasialand. But I think I'm now the only person who hasn't done Fly, which is annoying.
The ride
Yeah.
talk about Fly. We'll just have to do another episode of Phantasialand. That's
we can we can
Oh
talk
no!
about
What a shame.
Oh, what a shame. That's a problem.
Oh no. But yes, hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Ads, we've got Emma, we've got that ginger one, we got Iona, we got Roller
That's
Bad,
not Carl.
Every time I just think it's referencing
Not Carl.
Carl.
We got Chris. Chris has been able to join us this week.
Hey, hello.
Hey,
friend.
welcome, Chris.
We got Out and Back
Nice.
Travel. We have got Thrill
Very professional, isn't
Picks. We have got John, Amusement and Adventure. Karen, hello. We got RTID. We got Matt. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Chain Dogs. The smooth
Yeah,
sounds of Chain Dogs.
I'll say clip that, but it looks like the out of context has gone. It looks like they're busy at the minute because they've stopped. So probably get away.
Yeah,
with that one.
honestly, all the momentum has come to a halt.
Yeah. So
Died.
if you notice someone's been busy, let us know because that will give us a good clue of who it is. Still trying to work it out. But yeah, first things first, guys. We've been awarded. Well, not awarded. We've been
Oh, yeah.
voted, nominated on the shortlist for Clamshell Awards.
Got there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So second
you.
year in a row. So yeah, thank you to everyone who has nominated us. Hopefully you've got around to voting.
Yes.
And obviously we suggest that you vote for Chain Dogs really. So I'm just gonna try and get it up. Just gonna share screen. There we go. So there we have it. So yeah, just go to cupcakesandcoasters.com/2022/12/the clamshell awards. Just Google clamshell awards. And then yeah, scroll down to best podcast, and obviously number one there, obviously for a
Number
reason.
one. Look at that.
Chain Dogs. Go and vote for it. And also, if you don't mind, if you fancy it, best production, vote for me and Joe. That'd be nice as well.
Do
You know,
do
may
that.
as well.
Do them things. Press them buttons.
You know, I mean, I don't know about us getting that award because I mean we're up against Kieran and Jack, but I reckon best podcast. We've got a good chance of that, man. I feel like
Yeah,
we've got a good chance
I
of
think
getting
so.
that.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. It'd be great.
yeah,
it
it'd
would
be
be
really,
awesome.
really cool. So, yes. So, shall we get on with the news so we can get into our main topic straight away? Shall we just do that? Shall we just get
Yeah.
through this?
Do it. Let's go.
Smash through the news.
Yeah.
Smash through that news.
So, first bit of news is that Mission Ferrari at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi, their SFX coaster that has been since 2014. It's been being built, like
Something like that. Yeah.
like it's been like complete.
Been there a while.
It's been there a while. People are saying it's still going to open before Tron, which I reckon it probably will do because
Hey, the train's nearly done.
To be
Come
fair,
on. Yeah.
it fucking should.
I mean, it's been
yeah.
testing for like 2 years now. Like, it keeps
Honestly,
getting-
the video that got sent through when I first watched it, I thought it was a render. It
Yeah.
for some reason
Really?
just didn't look real. I was like,
yeah.
that's a really cool render of a ride, but yeah, I didn't realize it was
So,
actually a ride
Ferrari-
that is being constructed.
So basically,
Ferrari end opening is the sign of the end.
it has been tested.
The end
for a
of
while.
days.
Hey, Aaron.
It has been testing for a while, but all the construction walls are down and stuff.
Mm.
Didn't footage surface of people, like I assume officials of some kind,
Riding
I've
it.
seen
riding it like a year
I
ago?
haven't-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it. I'm sure we
We
brought
have
it up
we have
somewhere.
talked
We
about
probably
this.
did.
Yeah.
We have talked about this. This is why I don't want to dwell on it too long because it's like
Yeah.
we kept
there a
getting this
while.
promised to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the view of the outside of it with all the
That's
construction walls down.
Mhm.
So, like, if you didn't know, SFX Coaster by Dynamic Attractions, this is going to be flipping insane when it opens. It's basically got every type of track you want. It's got a slide, apparently a slide track that goes down. You go sideways on it. You've got drop tracks. You've got tilt tracks. It's basically like Escape from Gringotts, like on steroids, basically. It's got rumored to have about 5 launches as well.
Wow.
So
Fucking hell.
yeah,
A
it's
lot
all
of
indoors
different-
as well.
A
3D
lot of different
domes.
theming and visual effects, like techniques being used and combined all into one experience. So,
Wonder if they lost some of the budget
I mean-
somewhere and they've had to wait a while. Now they've finally done it.
I don't think so, man. I think it's
I
just.
reckon.
I think it's just been a problematic.
I think
as Altaro Ryan would say.
I think it could be a combination of a lot of things. Like I don't think that it will have just been one thing and not a whole host of others.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, what it's been in production, development, construction, and now testing for the last 8 years. Like at one point it could have been budget. Another point it could have been.
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that it started
like-
construction 8 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
if you added up all the like what it took to like do the pre-production process as well with all the concept, I mean, you're talking probably over 10 years.
Yeah,
It's-
for sure. Yeah, that thing's
Yeah,
been on paper for a long
but
time.
that's exactly my point. Think about how many different obstacles and things they could just encounter
Yeah.
within the space of 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it could have been a whole host of different situations. It probably
Global
has
pandemic.
been a whole host of different situations that they've had to navigate and figure out in order to get up to this point. So like,
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like because it's taken so long, it's probably a case of they probably finished it and then they were like, we started this so long ago that we need to actually update some of the stuff we did to begin with.
Yeah, 3D
Because,
gone a
like,
bit further now.
yeah, like that's outdated
Especially-
before it's even completed.
They probably put VR in it before they started taking it all off the coasters.
Yeah.
Oh, more about that later.
But yeah, it's just that's my one thing is I'm like,
Hmm.
is this going to feel like it's a pretty dated thing, even though it's going to do some cool stuff, like the tech inside it, as in like the 3D projections and stuff. Is that going to feel old now, or have they updated it? But yeah, it's exciting. Hopefully it does, but I'm not holding my breath about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next up we have what is it?
Jumanji.
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 Some more construction's been happening, seeing track go into place. I'm not going to go into the whole thing because there's been like a whole host of names that have come out. But what the hell was it called now? Something Mayhem. What is it called?
I sent it in chat earlier. Let me find it. Where
Oh
is it?
no.
slip
Mandrill
my head-
Mayhem.
Yeah, Mandrill Mayhem is the rumored name for the coaster. What do you think of that? If that is
Well,
the case,
the thing that
Like Mamba
I've
Strike,
noticed and a lot of people have noticed,
Mm,
very much a lack of reference to Jumanji
mm.
in the naming. So when that IP ends, very easy for them to remove it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
exactly.
True.
Probably smart thinking, to be honest. Sounds like a gentle
Wacky worm.
worm.
Apparently, it's
does.
registered as a trademark, so it probably is.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Wow.
mean but it's so on the trademark. Does it say this is for a roller coaster, or are we just seeing the names of
Yeah, I
two
just
flat
said that.
rides, and like a game stall? Like no, everyone's just assuming that it's for
It's
the
the
roller
coaster.
coaster.
I
but no one
don't think
showed
it
me-
is.
No one
I don't-
showed me proof that it's for the roller coaster.
Nah, I don't think that. I don't think that's for the coaster. I don't think that's the coaster's name. I don't think they're going to give that out just yet. Mamba Strike does sound better though. I agree with that.
Sorry, that
Yeah.
last one.
What, that one?
The name's all but I did think of Mandy's Mayhem with Actual Pleasure Beach.
That's a
well.
YouTube
Mandy's
channel coming in
Mayhem.
like next year. Mandy's Mayhem. Just going through
No, that's a
internal documents.
that's a
Just her
podcast
going
name.
through
Is
her
that?
tweets.
Mandy's Mayhem. When Valhalla finally opens, that's what we'll call the podcast.
Jay saying it
The
doesn't
Mandy's
justify it,
Mayhem
but if Chessington Buzz are showing it, I'd say we can trust it, given they have links to the park. I do understand that, Jay, but also like until it's still rumor. Like even if it's from Chessington Buzz, like they don't work at Chessington, so we still have to say it's a rumor. It's not like we can't
Doesn't
just
sound
say
like a coaster.
that's what it's going to be. I don't know. I just expected something like Emma said. Mamba Strike does sound like a better name for a coaster, in my opinion.
And I think that if it's going to be for the coaster, I think because they've done these names now, kind of retro squadded, they've just announced the names, there's your ride names. The coaster's going to have its own video package and render, and it's going to look awesome, and it's probably going to have a POV, I don't know, but it's definitely not going to be the coaster included in that. And I said it's going to be a B&M. I got that right. Hopefully I get this one right as well. It's I want a better name than that. Come on, Chessington.
Jay said that it's his first time here live, so big up, Jay. Thank you for joining us live.
What's up?
So Ad's just saying it's 100% basically. He's seen it all, but again, Ad's just rumor. Sorry, mate. It's just rumor. I can't can't tell you
until it's on that part map. It's rumor, right? That's the new rule. Speculation.
Sounds like the name for a Disney dark ride.
It is a shit name for a roller coaster.
Yeah, you think like Toy Story Mania or something.
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
Oh my god, it's gonna have lasers on it, and you're gonna shoot while you're going around.
It makes sense with the handprints, in the station. Like there's them like hand cutouts.
Yeah,
that would make more sense if it's like something to do with Mandrill.
So it's going to be in it. It's going to be the name in it.
I've got Mandy's Mayhem is becoming a docu-series on like Channel 4 at the moment now.
It's
yeah. So Emily said,
Beach Part 2.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of was that Inside Gatwick or Heathrow where they had the EasyJet.
One Mandy's Mayhem.
Emily said Mandy's Mayhem getting inside scoop.
Hectic life is hilarious.
Not knowing why that hasn't been completed and open to the public yet.
I love that.
Oh,
I want that as a series.
I think it needs one of these, doesn't it? Yeah. One of them was called for.
Matt's saying hard to judge a name until you've seen the personality of the ride.
Very true.
Oh, the personality. Fancy that, man.
Personality.
Oh,
That profile. Why we did that.
Does this mean
I'll be on the lookout for the
monkey theme?
Say that again. Sorry, mate. Say that again. I didn't hear that. Just for the podcast listeners, sorry, I've been listening to a podcast this week just to see it, and I'm like, we need to make sure we're reading out the names. So,
Karen said. So, does this mean Wing Launch Coaster equals monkey theme? Isn't Furious Tobacco monkey theme too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, monkey goes crazy in a wine factory. Boom.
Oh, is that the entire?
Yeah,
that is it.
It's monkey and wine themed. I think
monkey gets pissed,
or as I call it, Furious Bacon.
Yeah,
Furious Bacon.
Break your backo.
Yeah, break your backo.
Break your backo.
Yeah, true that. Like Matt said, remember thinking that Ride to Happiness was a shit name at first before I saw it, and I thought the same thing as well when I first heard it.
Did we? Yeah, we
did.
Yeah,
at first I was
everyone.
like, what a name was that? Like
now it feels like so right. You know what I mean? So it's one of them.
Furious
isn't it?
Bacon. Yes,
because everyone's
that's because the ride is one of the best roller coasters on planet Earth. I don't think we're going to be able to say that about this.
It is, but I think it just suits it though. I think even if if Ride to Happiness was called Mandrill Mayhem, like it'd still be a great coaster, but we'd still probably be like, yeah, but the name's a bit weird, man. Like, do you know what I mean?
That should be.
But you'd be more accepting of it. It's the same with Hagrid's, because Hagrid's is such a high quality
Hagrid's long name
poster experience. Like you just accept the name is what it is, even though we just short it to Hagrid's. But
but I think even if it is a long name, it suits the ride because it's a Harry Potter thing, and Harry Potter has always got long titles in it. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. You know what I mean? It's kind of fitting with that series in a way.
I thought about that.
Sure.
Never actually thought about that.
Like it could have been a book. Do you know what I mean? Like Hagrid's motorbike.
I mean, I say all this,
some
I'm very
motorbike creature
indifferent. I say all
adventure.
this, I'm very indifferent to the name. I just think it's like
Long
I
name.
I have no idea how it relates to the Jumanji films or just the franchise in general. I
haven't seen. I've only seen the.
I have no idea
first
what I have no
new
idea what it
one.
means. So.
I've not watched the new one. I'll be honest, I haven't watched the new ones.
The first new one, so the second one, I guess, out of the whole series.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I watched that and that was pretty cool. I haven't watched any of the others.
Something you watch on a plane, I think. It's one of them movies.
Yeah, it is pretty entertaining. I mean, you've got like some great acts in there. It's better than it's better than you think it's going to be. I mean, it's got Jack Black in it, and I think Jack Black's great in everything.
Yeah, that's true. I should probably watch it. To be fair,
we do have a ride called Rita. Ads.
We do.
You're not wrong. That's a thing that exists.
Yeah,
I've got a question for everyone actually after about
queen.
Rita. I'm going to ask everyone a question in a bit about Rita, see what they think.
Won't you
Little conversation.
Just ask it now.
All right. What do you guys think about Rita as a ride if you had lap bars on it instead?
It'd be a lot more comfortable.
I think. I mean, for me, I'm not someone who I don't suffer that much from Rita's restraints.
No.
Uncomfortable at all.
It's because my head is perfectly lined up with over the shoulders.
I'm not on about how it feels with the restraints now. I'm on about how the ride sensation might slightly change if you put lap bars on it.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would.
I honestly don't think.
Anything. I don't, because it's the problem with Rita is that it's got a great launch. And I think into that bend it's like an amazing sensation, but then it just doesn't really do much, you know. So I think it's not a bad ride; it's just not a great ride.
Well, more to the point of how a change in restraints would change it. That like apart from that one turn out of the launch, which is not so aggressive that the restraints, you know, stop you from any side to side lateral movement or anything like that, like something like Intimidator 3 or 5, the transitions on that. Aside from that turn, like Rita doesn't have any, you know, super whippy changes of direction.
No, it's got that one section.
So like a change in like OTSRs on coasters that don't go upside down usually are to mitigate against any over exaggerated side to side movement, which Rita doesn't have. So changing it to lap bars wouldn't really do much in that sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
not for me at the very least.
Yeah, the only reason I mentioned it is because there was a couple of moments. We won't go deep into it. This is why I want to say it later. But there was a couple of moments on Taron where he went left and right really quickly. And it was very much so like the left and right as you go over the first hill on Rita after the launch. And I really digged the sensation of the lateral feeling as you went right to left. And I just feel like on Rita, it would probably give it a little bit of a release of life, a bit more extreme feel to it. I don't know. I like to ask what people thought. We were talking about it.
I think it probably would improve it, but I think it wouldn't. I don't think it would. I think if you had fitted. If it originally had lap bars, I still think people would be saying the same things about Rita that they say today.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that people would get used to it. We're probably lacking the fact that we haven't got lap bars, definitely, but I don't think it would. It wouldn't be like, wouldn't do that much. I don't think.
I was just thinking, that's all. Like, because there's some really nice moments of left and right, you know, quick intimate whippy transition, and I know moments.
I know you're trying to make Taron in the UK happy. It's not Rita, mate. It's not Rita. It's the closest we've got to it.
I'm not saying it's Rita. No, I'm not.
And that's also that, like, considering you just came from 2 days of marathoning Taron, like to. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying about Rita? Like it has moments of quick transitions like that?
I think Intamin's design language, what they've used from previous models to newer models, definitely comes across. Like you can, there is a moment in Rita, and there is a moment of Rita in Taron, and it's beautiful. but it's done so much better. But it's beautiful.
Which moment are you talking about? I'm just asking because I'm genuinely curious now.
right to left, and then. But what they've done then is they straighten the track profile, so you get the lateral whip on as you go underneath after the second launch. Yeah, second launch.
Yeah, but like
we'll get on to Taron. Come on, guys.
That's why I wanted to ask you later.
We've got a little conversation in the chat going on about Olympia looping and just saying they're
never ridden it. I want to ride it.
The restraints are disgusting.
So, the half and half, aren't they?
Who's done it here? Who's done it? Who's done Olympia looping?
I've ridden it once.
See,
apparently it used to run much faster a few years ago than it does now. When I rode it last year, it was just all right. Like, I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was particularly great either. Like, I literally came off and I was just like, that was quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like, apparently, first of all, like, apparently they run it much better when I can't remember if it was running 7-car trains or 5-car trains when I rode it, but yeah, like it apparently it just ran much. It used to run much faster than it does now.
All right. So next up we have Super Nintendo World is opening in Universal Studios Hollywood on 13th of February 2023.
17th.
Sorry, 17th. Yeah, I was tried to do that from memory and it failed.
If it was opening on the 13th, I'd be much more excited. But yeah. 17th.
So yeah, that's that. I mean, like it is cool, but
Bowser is now on the castle.
What's that?
What? Bowser is now on the castle, apparently. Like they've
done some put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is still pretty exciting news, but I still haven't done the OG one, so I was really excited when that opened, but I just feel like it's kind of like old news now, and it's nowhere near closer to me, so
it's fucking far.
Very true.
Like,
yeah,
it's so far. It's so far.
That's why. I guess that's why I'm excited.
Yeah, it's closer to you.
Because yeah, I might be able to get to it in the next few months. I'm hoping to find out some info about potential soft openings, and then certain plans could
get that Mario Kart cred, man.
It's taken about the same. It's taken about the same amount of time that Epic Universe is going to take him to build this one area. I don't know if it's because it was like such an awkward area, but it seems like it's been going on for like so long now.
Yeah, Universal Hollywood is in such a precarious position in terms of where they can and can't build, because it's literally on the side. It's literally on the side of the Hollywood Hills. So like they have to be
park ever.
Yeah, really fucking intricate.
I bet getting cranes into that thing is so difficult. Like,
I mean,
exactly.
We drove past it on our trip to LA, and I was like, "Wait, what? That's Universal?" I was like, just looking at this hill, it was ridiculous.
It's basically that park just look. I mean, I've only seen it from vlogs, but that park just looks like it's just one long escalator.
Yeah,
pretty much.
City walk on a hill, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So
the thing is, it's worth noting that Universal Hollywood's iteration of the area isn't going to have the Yoshi People Mover ride, or Omni Mover. Sorry, the Yoshi Omni Mover ride is not going. As far as I'm aware, it's not going to have.
Which they're building at Epic Universe, though, aren't they?
Which they are building at Epic Universe, but I mean, it probably comes down to the space that they had available to them for it. So, yeah. But like, just my thing is that number one, it will have the Mario Kart Dark Ride, the Bowser's Challenge Dark Ride, and then just like I just need to see that reveal of the entire area once you walk through the warp pipe and get introduced to the entire area, which
that'd be really cool.
Is something else I'm going to ask you guys about when we get to Phantasialand. But but
of course,
because I know you will have noticed what I'll ask. So but yeah, like I'm super excited.
That's cool.
Yeah, that too, like that too.
It's cool
those
until
are
there's
the things I'm excited
it's
about.
cool until there's like a massive queue for like each interaction point. Like
Yeah, I
when you
suppose.
go
Yeah,
when you go through the Harry Potter lands
yeah.
and everyone's queuing up just to go in the shop window.
There's so many shops as well.
Yeah.
Watch a channel called Ordinary Adventures, and they were showing all the shops off that are outside the land, that are even in the land yet. Like they've taken over so many retail spaces. There's like 4 or 5, I think, Nintendo shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they make the money in it, man. That's how it pays for itself.
Nintendo have made a shit ton of money off these lands. Shit ton.
Yeah. So next, well, talking of Universal, let's come on to Epic Universe. Now we haven't got the time to go through like everything because there's just so we haven't even talked that much.
I have been thinking we need to arrange this episode where we'll go over everything that is going to.
Let's wait for more track. Let's wait for a bit more track.
We'll have to bring someone on who is like, a lot of us know what's going on with it. I'm sure we can get someone on who is like,
we need a pro on
obsessing over it. So yeah,
I'll shoot Alicia Stella a message. We'll see how.
Let's do it.
She follows me. So
let me I was going to say, let me not even insinuate. I don't even know her, so like I've never spoken to her before. So
let's get their podcast on. That'd be awesome.
She follows us, so she follows Parks Bill. Yeah. So I could actually see if she wants to come on, but we'll see.
There you go.
Need to educate the English on Epic Universe.
I mean, there's a lot of people who knows. I mean, yeah, I'll probably get James on, to be honest, but he knows a lot. He seems to know a lot about it. But anyway,
Bobby Healy, he knows Bobby does. Well, to be fair.
Yeah. So I think the most exciting news from my perspective recently is the fact that we've started seeing the Mac dueling coaster.
Yes.
So this is from
Success, it looks cool.
Who is doing a lot of drone work, so go follow him over there. But so this is the view we have. This is from the 7th of December. So there we go. But I mean, the craziest thing about this coaster is that it's just got some just wacky elements, hasn't it? I mean, I'm guessing, have we all saw Amusement Insiders POV?
The 2 turns, they're into the brake run, aren't they? Is that the last turn in?
No, they're into the first launch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The station
is that the launch track that we're seeing in the center there?
Yeah.
And then the station will be at a higher level.
Well, if
running launch.
Share Amusement Insiders.
Oh yeah, if you've got the pod.
But then you've got storage track. That's pretty weird. The storage track is down at the launch level. That's really odd.
Is it?
So the most exciting thing about this is their
under construction. It is.
Their patented
let's look
inversion.
Oh yeah.
So this inversion here.
Oh wow, that's cool.
What are they calling that again?
Holy fuck!
It's just.
I don't know what they called it, but it's basically.
They have an actual name for it.
I think they have. I've heard it being said. I'm sure I have. But yeah, so it's like one's inverting on the way up, and then the other one inverts on the way down. Yeah. So you get this like amazing. Beautiful. Like it just looks stuff like facing each other. It's just it's just so cool.
Imagine you're inverted and looking upwards, which is actually looking downwards and seeing the train above/below you.
And then the dispatch as well to get the dueling going for the other trains.
Yeah.
It's going to be 135 to 140 foot total at its max, and it's going to be each coaster is going to be about the same length as Velocicoaster, I believe.
Yeah,
that's what I read. So it's a big, mate. This is going to be so good. It's basically a hyper coaster, but LSM. Like so.
What I will say.
Obviously, it's not a hyper coaster because it's not as tall. But what I'm saying is almost the elements on it are very. They just feel like.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to just talk about a little bit. Like me personally, I feel like now I don't know outside of the dueling 0G rolls, like outside of those inversions, I don't know how many elements on this have been made apparent that are going to be included in the layout.
It's not,
but I kind of think / hope that this POV that Austin from Amusement Insider made is leaving out some elements that are going to be included that we don't know about, because especially this part as well.
Yeah.
It looks a bit uneventful.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest. The dueling 0G rolls look awesome, and I can't wait to see trains going through. That's gonna look gorgeous off ride as well. But I couldn't help but think that through a fair part of both of these layouts, there wasn't really that much going on.
I think, I know exactly what you mean. This obviously is not going to be the final layout.
That's what I'm thinking. In terms of elements,
but I think this comes back to whether you're like, I know we've had this conversation before where you sometimes feel like a dueling coaster needs to stand by itself, whereas I feel like the dueling aspect adds a massive amount to a coaster, and I think that's just a preference thing.
Yeah, we have had that discussion before, and
I think that does come down to it. So even if it is very close to this, I think this is definitely up my street. Like in terms of it might not be as intense as something like Velocicoaster, but I don't know. I just think it just looks epic to me.
The dueling aspect is fun.
But I definitely think it's something you got to really be into to that's it really.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So the theme and quality of the park is meant to be Disney level, sea level, so it's going to wipe the floor with everything. I mean, the whole part. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Monsters. I think that's the one I'm the most excited for, because what I mean, if you haven't, go check out Theme Park Stop's latest video on Epic. Like, it's basically everything. They probably basically summed up everything they know in one video as so far. And I think again, this is the coaster track inside Monsters, the rumored Monsters Land.
Yes,
that's appeared.
Oh yeah, it has. Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah,
so this is some of the track, and people are saying it could be like a Mac. It's definitely a Mac, but it could potentially be an extreme spinner.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Yeah,
that's what a lot of people are
because
saying.
that track design is the one thing that's gonna confirm it is the track gauge. How wide the track gauge is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember watching that.
You know how wide the two rails are, how separated they are from each other. Because the track gauge on the Mach Extreme Spinners is wider than the normal multi-launch track. So and to be honest with you, from it's obviously hard to tell from that top-down photo, but it does look like the wider track gauge to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy because from that video I watched from Theme Park Stop's video, the place where this coaster's going was originally meant to be like a kind of a show arena, and it seems like they changed their mind. And is that down to how like popular Velocicoaster's been? That they've been like, you know what, like the coasters are bringing people into the park. Like, I don't know if that's been a
yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that for definite because obviously I'm not in those rooms.
No.
But I mean,
finally, the coasters are making people come to the park.
That's it. That's a no-brainer for me. Like, especially with just with how successful not only Velocicoaster but now Hagrid's, now that it's not dealing with the reliability issues that it had been dealing with for the past couple of years. More people are getting on it much more consistently, and more people are just just coming back with just positive, reviews, things to say about it.
Yeah.
The coasters, the well done coaster experiences, well executed coaster experiences, and the continuous taking away, verging towards more interactive and realistic 3D elements as opposed to screens is what is playing a huge part in what's turning everyone's attention towards Universal.
So the other ride that's inside Monsters is meant to be this new Kuka dark ride.
Yeah,
Almost like it's basically Forbidden Journey, but the next
Mhm.
generation of it. So it's on a track that can kind of elevate up and down. So it's like just much more advanced, and I think that's rumored to be Frankenstein. In like, and the exterior, like the concept art is
that's the one
rumored to be
that's
based on.
Yeah,
So
it's
cool.
it's supposed to be in the showroom behind the. Is it Transylvania's castle?
No, I think it's like
Frankenstein's manor or something.
It's like it's like based on the book of like the manor he was in. That's what I think. That's what it was, rather than Transylvania.
I'm not the most clued up on the classic Monsters stories,
but no, it's like an old manor basically. But it looks cool. But then like that also that had a bit of that was talking about that structure that looks like it's going to be the windmill from like Frankenstein. That's going to get set. It's going to have pyrotechnics on it, and maybe like set a light from it.
Cool.
Which would be like really cool. And then the spinner, if it is a spinner, the extreme spinner, this new coaster anyway, is going to be potentially based on Werewolf. Yeah, so that would be like, it's just going to be so cool to have a classic Monster Land like that. Is
it is going to be dope. Like,
because and plus it makes sense why they've shut the CAF down. At Universal Studios now.
We're moving.
If they've got a whole land, it makes so much sense that they've done that.
Does.
Because that was a classic. That was a classic. That was, and that was really missed. I thought when I went my last one, I was like, it feels different without that cafe there. But yeah, no, it's really cool. But we can't go on the rest. We've not even touched on everything else. You know, how to Train Your Dragon Land. You've got the Harry Potter expansion. Obviously,
Ministry of Magic.
Just to go back to Super Nintendo World, Ads made a good point about the exclusion of the Yoshi ride for Super Nintendo World. Universal Hollywood has Secret Life of Pets, the dark ride there, and it's the same ride system as the Yoshi Omnimover. So yeah, like it makes sense for them to
not to have it
because it. Yeah, I mean, you said Hollywood probably did one better there, which I have no idea about that ride. So
find out.
So yeah, but I'm going from the Super Nintendo worlds, popping up at different parks to the ongoing construction completion of an eventual completion of Epic Universe. It's a good final project, a fitting final project for the. I don't know if you were about to get into this, Sean, but for the senior higher up, executives of Universal Creative to go out on, because news came out yesterday that a few of them are going into early retirement, which I don't think anybody saw coming,
because they built a park and now they're like, yep, you can't beat that. Epic Universe is going to be epic. Goodbye.
World of Thrills has made a good point about this rumor of
I've not heard that
per land. So this is a concept that they've talked about like in the past, where it's like you'd obviously buy a ticket for the whole place, but the way they've set this park up is the fact that they can section parts of the park and kind of almost like, I heard this on the Drunk Riders podcast last week, where they was talking about it's more for like corporate buyouts, because that happens a lot at these parks. But it means they have to like shut down like a whole section of a park rather than just like one bit. So the way they can do this is they can have like multiple buyouts at one go. This is like quite boring, but it's a different kind of it's just a different way of a park making money based on like corporate buyouts,
and not having normal normal theme park goers experience be hindered by it.
Yeah,
as
well. but then it poses the question of you could actually they'll have the main stretch, like the main entrance. Don't know what you call it, but the main bit where like all the shops are,
the central hub.
free. Central hub is like that could be free for entry. But then if you just want to go to like Super Nintendo World, you might be able to like buy a ticket for that place.
Yeah.
Or like you want to go to Harry Potter, you could potentially then be able to like buy that just one ticket just to go and do that rather than a whole day ticket for the entire park. So yeah, people are saying like that could be a reality, and it might be based on like facial recognition as well. So you don't even need a ticket; it just knows your face. But yeah, it basically the to round it all off is this is Universal building a park from the ground up. So they're just gonna I feel like this park's gonna be just completely like a park from the future.
It's really odd. Like, none of us have ever really seen a park open with this caliber of rides from day one. It's just gonna be insane.
Obviously we've all seen like what they've done with like the Harry Potter stuff, Velocicoaster, everything, and then suddenly they're building a park and they're gonna everything they've learned from all these projects they're just gonna put into this new park along with all this new tech, and it's just gonna be just a different park going experience. I think
that's a good point though. Like,
great time to be
has there been another one aside from Islands of Adventure? Because Universal did this with that same thing with like Islands of Adventure was completely ground up, and it opened with Incredible Hulk and Amazing Spider-Man and Dueling Dragons and all the rest of them, like a bunch of technologically advanced attractions that no one had seen before.
Yeah, Beijing. I was going to say Beijing is probably, when was that?
It was a couple of years ago. Yeah,
but I feel like that even that is like based on.
It's based on islands.
Model. It's based on islands, isn't it? It's like an existing model. Whereas I feel like Epic is, even though they're bringing, they're bringing like Super Nintendo World over. I just feel like it just feels like a brand new. Even just the layout of the park is just like completely different to a Universal park. Normally, they're taking this central hub idea and then. The spear and spoke.
Yeah,
it's called?
hub and spoke. That's what I'm about to say. It's like it's a modernization of the hub and spoke approach to theme park building. But it'll be super interesting to see how that pans out.
Fucking epic.
And James said, "Think of all they learnt from Beijing too." So yeah. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get on to Phantasialand. So,
yay!
Talking of amazing parks. So, obviously, Luke and James recently had their trip to Phantasialand.
My second trip of the year.
Yes, your second trip of the year, wasn't it?
Like the last 5 months, second trip of Oh, you went before I went to Florida. You went the week before I went to Florida.
Yes, because I did offer you to come, and you like, I need to save my money.
I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't.
So guys, how was Phantasialand? So you obviously, I mean, you've got your vlog coming out and stuff, so I can't wait to watch that. You've got your travel vlog already out as well.
Yeah,
which I watched as well. So what was the first thing you went in? What was the first thing you headed to when you got to the park?
We actually went into Charles Lindbergh. The first thing we did was we went to Charles Lindbergh.
I was just about to say because James, you had mentioned that you didn't want them to see Rookburg from Charles Lindbergh, did you? So you went in and checked in yourself. Properly,
no,
right?
we did.
Oh,
we did all go in. We did all go in the end. It just made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
For getting into the park because you get the Charles Lindbergh tickets instead.
Yeah.
You
get the tickets.
The
weird
do.
ones.
Yeah, you do.
And get them
because of like it was a quieter week. Our room was ready straight away.
Yeah, so we just went straight
before the park even opened. We were able to go put our stuff in our room, which was amazing. But you do still get a very good reveal of the area for entering through the hotel as well.
Because it's all you can see fly. So when you're walking down before you get to the gate, you can see fly around you. You can see the second launch. You can see the turnaround underneath. But what
as you come down the stairs,
there's a little bit of a wall,
up.
And they've put like Rutberg, a big like circular Rutberg thing there, and you walk through it, and then when you get to the gate, it's like another. It's like they've created a portal reveal from just walking in a straight line going down some steps.
Yeah.
And the gate squeaks at the same pitch as the fucking music. Oh,
I swear they purposefully got hinges that squeaked at that pitch
every time. It's the same key as Fly's soundtrack. It's ridiculous.
This is gonna be so much fun listening to you guys nerd out about this place. Like, there's just there's so much. There's so much to talk about.
Just to let people know as well, we are obviously going to go into their trip, but we also want to try and make this as kind of like helpful as possible for people who are thinking of going to Wintertraum rather than just being like all about the trip. So we're going to have like little tips and things that you got, because obviously me and Joe are going there next month, starting next month.
Wrap up.
Well, actually,
wrap up. Yeah,
but we've been to Phantasialand, but we haven't been to Wintertraum. So
take compression clothes if you have them.
The first question: how did you find the World War II bomb shelter hotel rooms? Surprisingly, they are a lot more spacious. In person than in photos,
and they immerse you in the storyline of Rutberg.
I found them absolutely fine. Like
I loved them.
Yeah,
they were very heated, so you probably turn heating down as soon as
they get warm. Which, to be fair,
warm.
They're more spacious than you think, but they are still kind of small. So like body heat and just room temperature in general, it is,
cabins are great. Showers are amazing. Be careful using the sink. They made a very strange design choice of having the actual tap about 1.5 feet from the actual sink bowl below.
Right, okay, so it's splashback.
It just splashes everywhere.
It's fucking Niagara Falls. Like, it's just straight down and it's loud. But
what did it feel like taking a shit while watching a coaster go by, though?
That was the pinnacle of the trip. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that.
The rooms we were in, I had a lovely view of the road outside the park.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we were at the back. We didn't have we didn't have a window to Rutberg, but we did have a window to the entrance to Phantasialand, the Margate bus station, as I like to call it. It was. But you have the little,
the obvious entrance.
It's so mad.
It's so
weird. Chalk and cheese. It's hilarious.
But isn't that the most hilarious thing though?
Yeah, like, so funny.
Like, that entrance looks like an bus shelter. It looks like an old bus shelter. It looks like an old entrance to like a retro cinema.
It does.
And then you get in and
you just see Berlin. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, I'm literally stood on the bridge on the vlog and I'm going, chalk, cheese, chalk.
If you park, you walk over the bridge, over the road, and you just see this amazing view from the top level.
Yeah.
It's like Black Mamba towering in the background, Mystery Castle.
It's kind of, I like it in a way because it's
I do.
It's almost like a
surprisingly. A park actually had a worse entrance than Thorpe.
Hey,
like, the actual front facade is, I'd say, worse than Thorpe's.
It's literally just a.
It's almost like that Diagon Alley effect, isn't it?
I was literally about to, like, I almost feel like it's kind of by. I don't think it's completely by design because there was a time where Phantasialand was not what it is now. Like, is it like nowhere close?
I feel like they haven't. I think they haven't changed it on purpose in a way because maybe they got that. But also, majority of people are coming in through China area if they're on the main car park. It's like
if they've driven, they'll go for it. But like, out and back travel, when I went earlier this year, I did go through the main entrance because I got the bus.
Yeah, which I'm kind of gutted about because I would have liked to. I would have liked to have come into that area for my first visit into Berlin because we come in from Chinese area and it's kind of like it just feels like you're just in a park straight away.
I can imagine.
It was really cool, but I just felt like oh, this is a bit weird, and it really it threw us off directions all day because you're just in an area straight away, and then we didn't even go into the Berlin area until about 2:00 because we were just so
Oh, you
preoccupied
were
with
actually
club
all just
time.
around that area.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then and then Black Mamba and the Chinese, and then suddenly we was just like, and then we went to Berlin area and we was like, this is actually really nice.
Yes, so good.
It is
But it's so
beautiful.
different. It's so different to what we'd just been in for like half the day.
I have to wonder if
Yeah.
the placement of the park's main car park being basically behind the park is down to just like, first of all,
Where
the
it
area,
is.
the area that they've been able to use, and the local councils, like any kind of what's the word, like, just not disruption, but just like the contribution of the local council in where they want parts of the park to be.
Just
because they I mean, like, for the past, it's been pretty well documented for the past several years that the local council has been really restrictive in Phantasialand's acquisition of more space.
So
like
with that, I
touch on
believe that they actually have now been allowed to purchase the land opposite.
They have
road.
now,
but still the council will be blocking them doing anything with the land. They need to wait for a change in council before they can even attempt to try and do stuff, because they are just so opposed,
which is a fucking shame. It's an absolute shame,
insane, man. Like, the amount of tourism they get to that area, like, it would never
Passport Control laughed at me when he asked me what I was doing in Germany. I was like, we're in Fantasia. They went, you going Christmas market? So I was like, Phantasialand. He went, It literally went, yes, stamp.
when we went to Belgium, we were in Passport Control, and me and Joe went together, and we was just like, oh, what are you here? It was like, oh, we're just here on a holiday, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, you go. Shrink. Then Emma was behind us, and we just heard Emma go, I'm going to Plopsaland. Like, so happy.
Going to Disney World.
Then we like laughed at her. I think it was Emma. I think it was. And then she was like, "Oh no," but she'd heard of it. Like, the woman who was stamping the password obviously knew it. But she was like, "You going? Okay, that's a bit weird." Like, full-grown adult going to Plopsaland.
Imagine Lola next to her, just like, for fuck's sake.
My defense, I was drunk. He found it funny.
That was
James. For his question, for a first time, would you recommend waiting until summer, or is a winter visit still worth it? Honestly, winter visit is amazing.
It was. It didn't take anything away from it.
The only thing you miss out on in a winter visit is River Quest. Honestly, that ride should be illegal anyway. Because
it's going to be interesting, because when me and Joe went,
about River Quest,
we did it in like July, and it was like an actual heat wave. So we actually got like a full-on sun, and it was amazing.
It's amazing, but it's stupidly.
So hot, like, it's so hot, and there's actually not. It's probably not hot. It's hard to tell if you don't go in there in the sun, but there's not that much shade around there. But Chapas looks amazing in that whole area in the sun. But it felt like you was in another country.
It's like, gorgeous.
It felt like you was in Spain.
So gorgeous.
But I definitely recommend, because Wintertraum is an amazing event that they do.
Literally,
all the shows and everything throughout the park are amazing.
Wow,
definitely
incredible.
Go for it's a park you want to visit multiple times throughout the year, really.
Literally. So projections in the chat, like, we had our visit last December, and he says losing River Quest is a worthy sacrifice. It was a worthy sacrifice last year when they weren't doing any shows. That's how much Wintertraum adds to the experience.
I don't even watch shows, so.
and not even in like the conventional sense of, you know,
area shows.
Like the area shows, the effects that they include in each show.
All them shows.
What you lose in River Quest, you gain so much more in Wintertraum, and the inclusion of like the Christmas effects and stuff is not intrusive of Phantasialand's identity, which is what I love. I love amongst other things, is what I love the most about it.
Because Berlin looks like that they've really gone to town on the Christmas lights in Berlin.
Yeah.
But then like the other areas are kind of, it's subtle, right? Or they've not done any
really subtle.
Yeah, there's
really
subtle lighting.
Just the Chiapas area had its own Christmas music playing, but it was still the theme of Chiapas. It just had sleigh bells in
the only area that kind of got fully taken over in terms of music was Africa.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It lost its area music and went to like African Christmas music.
The area music of it's such good. I love them.
So that's the only kind of area where I noticed it.
It's so old school. It sounds like a 90s pop tune, but it's so good.
Emma will get onto that about Metallica, and we'll get onto that. That was mental.
So let's go back to so where did you went to Fly? That was your first stop. So obviously no spoilers in terms of what happens inside, because I've managed to go this far without knowing anything.
my first ride
inside
let's tell you what happens the night before.
Yeah. So my first ride was Back Row, which was pretty eye-opening, to say the least. It was
my first ride was Back Row.
It was when you're watching it. So we were watching it test, and it was wet, so the wheels were slipping a little bit at the start. But then it kind of like they sent like 7 or 8 trains through, and then it just started.
It did open a little bit late that.
And it opened late, didn't it? Yeah, I think it was because of the rain. That I think, but I've just got a feeling might have been. But when we got on it, it didn't feel like it looked. It was so whippy in transition. It was so forceful. Yeah. Plenty of pops of air. I've never experienced ejector lying down. Never. Yo. It's just
if you want the proper ejector, front row as well.
Front row.
Now,
yeah. So front row off that second launch, I nearly got sent back into my room in Charles Limbo. I honestly, it was just. There's so many elements on that ride. You could break it down bit by bit, but it was just such a mad experience. James, that noise we had from the compressor as we went past the hot air balloon thing.
I don't think it was actually a compressor. I think it
was
the
audio. Yeah,
it's an audio effect. It just perfectly timed as we went past it.
Yeah,
it was so loud. It sounded like an air compressor.
It sounded like the air brakes had just hit. Like some air brakes had gone off. We were like, "What the fuck was that?" Like, it was mad, but just like the way it blasts smoke in your face as well, or mist in your face as you're going round, and then weaving in and out of the tight, So
is it water? Is it like a vapor?
Yeah, it's like a mist. It's like it's got a bit of a steam.
The steam effect that you actually get hit with is just a smoke machine.
Okay,
so you don't actually get wet from it
because it's not nice.
No,
it's that cold anyway, is it?
No, you don't get wet from any of the effects.
No, you don't get any wet.
It's not like sick. Oh my god, man! The mist in in them tunnels is just ridiculous. It's basically a water ride. It's a water ride. You come out soaked. If you watch our vlog and you see the POV, you'll see how wet my GoPro gets. You have to watch. It's ridiculous. It's insane. But yeah, no, that's good. What are the how did you find the restraints?
Oh, I got told off the first time. I didn't get in properly.
If you're waiting for the ride,
I didn't watch the video. I didn't get to watch the video. We were literally lockers in, straight on, done. Yeah. And I sat down, and she was like shouting at me in German, which obviously wasn't shouting at me, but I was just like, "What am I doing wrong here?" And then I realized you just have to move your leg back slightly, and then forward. You have to bring it forward again. I forgot to bring it forward, but I got it right the next time.
He didn't get his head, his feet into the harnesses properly.
No, I didn't. No. But it once you've done it, it's classic.
Overall a much nicer boarding experience.
So comfy. It's so comfy, and the way it, obviously puts you in prime position.
Vest restraints. Once they dispatch the ride, lock in place as well. They don't.
Yeah, so you can lift them up slightly. So my advice would be, if you're a big lad like me, just lift them up slightly, lift your shoulders up slightly. Don't do it too much because they'll shout at you. Right? Yeah. So just lift it up slightly, and then when you dispatch, just release, and you'll have a little gap between your shoulders and the vest restraint, just a tiny one, and it's enough. Just that little extra bit.
They lock into place into when you turn. Or
no, when you leave the station. As soon as them brakes.
So they have to be really on it then, I guess, because they're like, we need to make sure that you're locked in.
Yeah.
If you're scooting forward, they're gonna.
No, it's not. It's not.
You can get a bit of wiggle room from it.
Yeah,
you can.
Do you know what? I actually found that it was more it's comfortable in general, like the whole system. But I actually found it to be much more comfortable when like the further down the restraint was on me, which is strange because I felt like the whole restraint and seat was more form fitting when I pulled it down further, which is weird because I haven't felt that on any B&M flyer I've done.
Yeah,
no, I get that.
Not on Galactica, not on Tatsu, not on Manta.
When it turns you, because you're already feeling that pressure from the seat from the restraint being down, and you don't kind of dangle into it like you do.
Yeah,
you're already there. You just go
exactly,
and then straight into it. No, I completely agree with that. But having a little bit up here was really nice to have, and having that option as well, because obviously it's safe to do. Just a little.
Also, it's much easier. It's much. I assume you guys notice this as well. Like it's much easier to just sink into the seats because they're pitched a little further off vertical, complete 90-degree tilt than the B&M Flyer seats are. So like it's easier to sit back in the seat and getting into a more form-fitting position. And then also when it's in the flying position, it's easier to just see in front of you because you're not having to crane your neck up like so much. Which I really like. It's such a Vekoma knocks the shit out of the park, man. It's a marvel. It's really such a great improvement on the flying coaster.
We'll come on to this. I don't know. Basically,
we'll have a chat about that.
It's a great question. I had that in mind.
Go to theme park roundup. I'm pretty not that one. Which one? Who was it? Someone said. Any news? Any news on Hollywood Tour? I'm pretty sure it's just done now. Like that's surely going to be the next.
It hasn't operated for quite a long time now.
Years,
and they have removed
since before COVID.
They haven't officially confirmed that, but I'm fairly certain it is.
It's definitely going to be all directions are kind of pointing to the fact that's going to be the next part of the park that's going to get a massive, big construction on it, I guess. But how are the seats for us large guys?
Yeah, leave them alone. I'm a large guy. So they're fine. They're absolutely fine. They're a lot more comfortable than B&M flyers in general. I'm one click on Black Mamba and 2 on Nemesis. That gives you an idea.
Black Mamba does have the option, and they did move us before in a row. They do have the larger seat on Black Mamba as well.
Yeah, they do. They have the double seat belts.
And this is something that I just wanted to point out as well, is the ride ops don't like anyone taking pics in any of the ride stations. It's so weird. It's weird. I've heard this. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it does happen to some people. But also Hansa Park are a little bit like that as well. They don't like you.
I never tried to.
I've vlogged in the station for sure. I did. Taron, definitely.
Yeah, but
I think Taron, you vlogged just outside the actual station. It was the last bit of the queue.
In the front.
I've heard.
I wouldn't vlog in Fly Station anyway because it ruined it for everyone. Everyone needs to see that with their own eyes.
And that right there, that's exactly why Phantasialand is so secretive with their projects in general. Like
I've
seen
one video that shows a bit of the station, and surprisingly, it's one of Phantasialand's own promo videos.
It's fine then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like it wouldn't surprise me if that behavior from the ride ops came from Phantasialand's operations leadership in general.
No, sorry, just to be clear, just to clear it up, it's coming back from Cole being told off for filming them taking a train off Taron's thing, and I've heard people being told off in Taron Station, and I'm like, that doesn't give anything. It's just a station, so it's just I know I can understand. Like I said, with Hansa, they're a bit like that, and it's like they just don't want you to show anything, and it's. I don't know if it's like we don't want our operations to be shown, or we don't want other parks spying on what we're doing, or I don't know what it is, but it seems like a German thing, basically. So
it'll be a few different reasons.
So it's very odd. So Fly.
Are we allowed to talk about what happens with the locker system? Because that's quite a good just some few tips from that you can get.
I don't know. You tell me. What is it a spoiler? What?
No, locker system's
really,
okay.
No. Yeah.
So the way they've done it is once you get to the front of the queue, for some reason they weren't properly doing it when we were there.
Yeah.
For one of the days. But if the queue's big enough and they've got too many people waiting to get onto the ride, they will hold the queue so that the lockers can be freed up again. But you get given a wristband, an RFID wristband, basically a watch.
Yeah.
Take hold of that. You go up to the lockers, take everything off. You can get away with a watch being on, I found out.
Yeah, hold it up like that, Mikhail, like you do at Velocicoaster as you go through.
It's Velocicoaster's locker system.
Everything into the locker.
Which is also Energylandia's whole locker system.
If it's showing a green light, but the locker's still closed, just push it and it will open.
Yeah.
And then fully close it and tap your band onto the light itself, and then it will lock. When you're getting off the ride, I ended up just ignoring what number I even put my stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I did that so many times.
There's a panel on the wall as you get off the ride to your left.
Yeah,
just tap your band on it. It will say what locker number you're in.
Yeah.
And just a quick one on the actual band itself. It does lock like a watch, so it's not like you just throw it on. So you actually have to spend a bit of time fastening it on as well, which I found a little bit annoying, like sometimes. But I think they could have just done the whole wristband thing, tighten it, done. But it's what it is. But yeah, no, that was good. I enjoyed that, and you have to give back to the ride host as well.
Yeah,
on the way out.
Yeah, someone said
get away with having that wristband.
Someone just said it is like Arthur at Europa Park, and we did that as well. They give you their watch, and then same as Relantica, same sort of locker system. It's really good.
I suppose.
But I think I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure like Arthur won an award for the locker system when it first came out. But now it's just standard everywhere.
So really good, really well. And it's great because you can. What I ended up doing, because it was obviously winter, it's very cold. I had a hoodie on and a jacket over that hoodie. All I did was throw everything down one jacket, pull the jacket off, throw it in, and off you go. It's done. Like you don't have to mess.
And the lockers are deep as well.
They're big. They're big lockers. You can put a backpack in there, not a problem.
I could fit my whole camera bag when I used it. When I used my camera backpack, I could fit the entire backpack in there.
Yeah.
That's saying as well. If you're queuing for front row, if it's open, it actually wasn't open the 2 days we were there.
Yeah, it wasn't open for me either because I was that dead.
You will get given a different coloured wristband, which that you then go to when you get into station through a different queue.
Yeah.
So really good front row system for Fly and Taron. To be fair,
yeah, Taron's front row system is fucking awesome. It's so easy, it's simple, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
talking of Taron, can we move on to Taron? Because I'm dying to talk about Taron.
Taron,
right? That you have
let me. Okay, Luke. Let me ask you this. You and I was gonna bring this up before this episode, but just
shouted at it.
But you basically have done what I did last year in the sense that I had ridden Taron before I'd ridden Velocicoaster, but in the sense of last year when I got to ride Velocicoaster and then rode, Wintertraum Taron, I'll say, like a month later.
Yeah.
You've done the exact same thing. So, and obviously we'll get into the comparisons like as the topic moves on, but like did your expectations of Taron change at all coming off the back of riding Velocicoaster? Like
can we get Luke's opinion on Taron first, and then we'll go. You're jumping the gun massively.
Finish that question. Go on.
I did. I finished it.
Right. Okay.
That's pretty much it.
So my expectation, I didn't realize you just walk through underneath a canopy and then you just get exposed to Taron and Klugheim. Like that was mad. We went past the churro stand, which I thought was fucking hilarious considering that big.
We just did a churro stand. So I don't know what
churro stand, and then I just looked to the left, and it's just Taron and rocks and wall and wood and mist and steel, and it was just. I literally say on the vlog, I'm like, just get me on that fucking ride. Like, just get me on it now. And I saw it going around, and I was like, "Oh, it's looking a bit." Obviously, it was first thing in the morning, wasn't it? It was. Yeah. Our first few rides on it were very, it wasn't peak Taron, basically.
Sure.
But the whole experience of walking into Klugheim, walking down that separate queue line to get into the queue, to seeing the launch for the first time and seeing a second launch for the first time as well, up close when you go over that little bridge before you go down the steps, was just awesome. The theming is just fucking incredible. It was like just being thrown into a completely different park. Like Ruckberg just felt like it was a million miles away. Like that's how immersive Klugheim is. So we got in, we got on, and it was just so exciting to be on a ride that I've been watching for so long. And we hit that first launch.
Front row, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. No,
we got back row.
Back row first ride. Ride. So that was fun. So yeah, it was everything I'd hoped it would be at the stage of the day that I knew it would get a lot warmer and a lot quicker. It was everything. It blew my expectations away in that respect. I thought it wasn't going to feel anything like it did in the morning, but it felt really good. And I came off it like, that was incredible. Can't wait for this evening. So what I'll do now is I'll go into the evening when we went on it at night. Right?
Please do.
That is a different machine. Like it's just everything about it.
I haven't done it at night yet as well. So
the aura of the ride changes. Mental. It goes from this nice Klugheim village to this fucking monster that's just working away in the earth.
Pit of hell.
It's just pit of death, and it's just dark. There's like purple lights on the rocks. There's mist everywhere. It completely changes its aura about it. It's
the chat's going crazy about it right now. Everyone's just like, the second launch at night, the red lights, the fog.
Even the first launch at night, like it's just boom, boom, gone, and you're off. And as soon as you climb that the first turnout over after that first launch, and you see the rest of the track, I kept on saying when I was walking around Klugheim at night, it's like a shadow's just following you wherever you go.
Yeah,
just everywhere you go. Like, I want to go and get a beer. There's Taron. Oh, okay, it's just everywhere. But
it's all around you.
The experience we had like a mid, almost like a dusk ride at the front. Before we had the full night ride, and
that's how I did it.
It was beautiful. The sun was just breaking the rocks as you went over. You did the left to right after the second launch. That second launch is up there. It's so close with Velocicoaster. It's like it's so hard to comprehend that you just go up and then you just do this left to right turn, and there's nothing else. Like it just goes. Gone.
Literally, you hit.
You blink
in the front row. Like you hit the second launch. There's red lights and fog everywhere.
All you see is just
everything.
Red.
Everything's all you see is red. And once you come off of the second launch, you just there's no lighting whatsoever. You're just engulfed in fog. You can't see shit.
Yeah.
It's so disorienting.
And before you know it,
it's so good.
Quick it gets up that wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I tried to
up
film
there
it
in about a second or two. You're like, what the fuck? It's gone.
It's one of the best moments like I've on
a
coaster.
I love the anticipation of the little turn, the S turn you do before you get to the launch, and then you see it when you see it.
Yeah,
it's like rock. Holy fuck! What's that? Oh shit, we're gone, and and that noise as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that launch sound lives in my head at all times.
Because obviously I'd ridden it earlier this year.
Yeah.
And the daytime rides, it was like, oh, it's still amazing as what I had in the summer. And then, nighttime rides, I couldn't help laugh.
Different gravy.
I got off and all I could do was laugh because it was just that insane.
Different fucking gravy.
But it was fucking cold. I'll tell you that. It was fucking cold.
If you've got a hoodie up, tie it as tight as you can, because otherwise it's not staying
I literally went like, I was sat next to James, and James had his like big snow jacket on with his like, it comes up to his face there, and he's fine. I've just got my little icon hoodie, and I throw it up, and then like first launch, like boom, boom, gone. Just pointless, absolutely pointless. Just don't try. Just don't try.
And this is the thing about going in early to mid-December as well. The park is so quiet that the ops just let you like. I did 13 rides in a row on the second of 3 days that we were there, as like it was going from like twilight to like pitch darkness in there. 13 rides in a row. More than half of them were on the same train because I didn't leave the station. The ops just let you hop off, just stand on the exit platform, and then just jump into whatever.
Didn't quite have that.
Was it a little busier?
5-10 minute queue.
On the second day, it was interesting because they didn't use the offload station. Yeah, they
weren't using the offload station.
Yeah,
they weren't using it for us either.
In the main station, which really confused me. I was like, it's not meant to work like this. And it's so weird because when it stacks, the train doesn't wait where it would usually offload.
Yeah,
it waits behind that
waits on the final break.
The transfer, and it then goes all the way through to the station. It's
really I was at the front and I heard the second train behind us launch on the second launch, and I was like, oh shit, that's going to be coming over here in a minute. And then we just kind of like just thundered along the transfer track and then into the station. We like after the other train left, it was like a really long 5 mile an hour just kick tire all the way down. It was so cool.
And favorite park in the winter, Fantasia. Favorite park in the summer, Fantasia.
Yeah, it's stunning. It's beautiful. But
sure, like I'm just gonna say it. Like, Taron's gonna go back to your number one after
I think it is.
Experience
I heavily believe that.
I'm fully ready for it to be your number one again.
I think I'm pretty thankful that we at least did Taron when it was like it was when just after COVID, the first lockdown ended. Do you remember when we had that massive heat wave?
Yeah,
and it was like they were like giving free water out in Phantasialand. It was that hot. So I'm thankful that we managed to do Taron on that day because I feel like that added to the speed of it. Because like
it will have been
very. I was blown away by the speed of it. Which for ages I was wondering why people were going, oh, it was not that great in the day. So maybe that was probably different because like I remember that would have contributed to it, but I still know that like from my experience of Velocicoaster, again being night from like completely different. Like when I first did Velocicoaster, I was like that was really good, but it wasn't where I thought it was going to be. And then I did that night ride, and it just flipping it blew me away. Like I just couldn't believe it. So having that in my head, I'm like experiencing Taron at night. And I think also, like you say, it's the whole aspect of it being like pitch black with all the lights or the smoke. Like, that's a whole different element as well to it. So I'm just, it's probably going to go straight to number one.
It goes from being a good guy to a really bad villain. Like,
I describe it as angry. Like the ride is angry at night, and the whole area with the rockwork and how intimidating the rockwork looks.
And the little lamps as well, the little gold glow,
the little lamps on the buildings.
It all glow off the wood. It's just so clever.
It all feeds into the aesthetic of the whole area and experience of Taron at night. It all contributes to itself.
I still think like walking into Klugheim is still for the first time was still probably the most like jaw-dropping experience of my life. Like over any park, I've done like Disney Universal before that, not with Velocicoaster, but I've done that all.
Yeah,
and then but like nothing compared to it. Like it was just
I weren't ready for it being there.
It was just everything. It was like even when you're in the queue and the queue like goes down and it's like all like snakes through and you're going through, you just see like everything you look at,
all the cust supports.
It's just amazing. Like they just thought of everything with that area.
Even when you get off, you literally get off and then if you take a left, you're next to the second launch going up the would be the waterfall, but the waterfall wasn't on.
The toilets as well. The toilets inside Klugheim.
Yes. The ones just under the panel.
Yeah.
First off, amazingly themed. Second off, absolutely stunk
Yeah,
yeah, they do.
I swear there is something wrong with the plumbing there because it
really bad
reeks.
Like,
and it
not
did
because
in
it was
the
a
summer
toilet.
as well.
It
did in the summer as well.
Yeah,
I swear there's something wrong with.
It did when I was there as well.
Bog review. Yes, let's go project.
In
the
Prime,
queues, probably. It's probably
in the queues.
Do you think it's Aroma Prime?
Yeah, adds an experience.
Victorian England.
Like they make you take the bucket and like throw it out the window as well.
Yeah.
In Taron and Black Mamba's queue, there are random stairs going upwards. Do not take them; they are towards a fire escape. There is. And I did see some people go up there once by accident. I was like, no, it's down that way.
Yeah. Before we move to the Lou review, let's talk about some of the fucking airtime yeet moments on Taron. Like, there are so many of them.
Kick it off.
I lost count.
Go for it.
I lost count of how many times I got thrown from left to right whilst in midair, whilst trying to still be sat down in my seat. It was just crazy. I had one ride and the ride host literally just tapped my restraint, and I was like, oh shit. I don't know if I'm coming back from this or I'm going to end up on Black Mamba somewhere. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I knew straight away the tip out after the first launch. I was literally just dangling around asphalt.
So let's get into Taron versus Velocicoaster then, because
it's tough.
Projections in the chat. He's another one who's ridden both. He actually quite considerably favors Taron to Velocicoaster. Wow. He feels like Taron paces a lot more relentlessly and furiously than Velocicoaster does.
Oh, for sure.
I disagree.
In some areas,
but I see where it's coming from with it, because they are a little different in nature from what I know them both to be. And it's going to be interesting to get both of you guys' opinions on this, because there are like, I do prefer Velocicoaster, albeit not by much, but they do like pace differently in terms of just the rapid fire sort of
for me
elements and stuff.
I think even at night, for me, it'd probably be an unpopular opinion, I just think Velocicoaster's first half before the second just for me just let it down a little bit. Like, it felt like it was just a bit, I don't know, it just didn't have that for me. And when I think about Taron, it's just like, it's just throwing you around the entire way. And even when it runs out of steam a little bit, it just feels like it's just, it just feels like you're on a fucking like bucking Bronco.
Yeah. I
felt,
sure.
I think, like I say, they're so close, and bearing in mind, like, Velocicoaster is in like my top 3. Do you know what I mean? So we're like really just trying to set.
It's the so tiniest close. Of nuances that we're talking about.
Tiniest.
Sure.
I didn't even think about the pacing side of things, though. I didn't really actually think about that. I've been thinking about the theme.
There are certain parts of Taron in terms of its pacing that, I'll be completely honest, do let it down for me. If we're just looking at, you know, as objectively as possible, the pacing and the intention behind pacing changes as well. Because what I think about Velocicoaster's first half is that a lot of the changes in pace, because it does change speeds a lot in its first half.
Yeah, it does.
But the times where it slows up are so intentional for you to for the entire experience to include storytelling in the form of seeing the raptors, being able to see your surroundings.
Because the only thing, every time I saw the raptors was like, I was like, I wish they fucking moved a bit more. Well, I wish they moved. I wish there was more stuff. I was like, the paddock just looks a bit empty to me. I still maintain that I think that they cut some of the budget on their inside paddock, because it like when you compare,
they might have done.
When you compare seeing like the inside the paddock to being inside Klugheim with that rock work and all them buildings around you. Like, I just don't think you can compare. I think you can compare coasters, but when I think it comes down to, taking away the queue experience, I just think the paddock area for me was like, we're basing a couple of rocks compared to Klugheim. Like, I just don't think you can.
I mean, when it comes to budget for Klugheim, found out that the lights that are around Klugheim are all handmade and cost €800 each.
Fucking hell. That's insane.
Think about how many there are.
Know that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But that again, that goes back down to Phantasialand having, even though like Universal have got the budget. Yeah, it's like Universal have got a massive budget, but they've also got a lot of bloody financiers in the business, and for everything you put to them and say we want to do this, they're going to be like, well, justify to us how it is. Whereas I feel like Phantasialand just get it, they're like, we don't need a big IP attached to it. We're just going to make this as immersive as possible. Can we get them handcrafted? It's the European way,
and as creative and as off the wall as possible as well.
So it's like, it's hard to compare. It's in a way it's unfair to compare because they're a smaller park, but they've also got a lot more. Probably they've got a lot more creative freedom to do things like that.
Oh, they've definitely got creative freedom.
Yeah. But I was just thinking with Velocicoaster, I was like, the amount of stuff you could have done in that paddock. If they could have done more stuff in the paddock and less stuff in the queue, even though there are a lot of things that I would have swapped them around. I would have swapped them around because
there are a lot of things that were cut out. A lot of ideas and a lot of things that they wanted to do that were cut out, whether it be in terms of budget or just feasibility. To be honest.
Yeah,
but,
I'd also
I do see what you mean. Like, I think in the back of my mind, in terms of comparing, one thing to take into account is that obviously the Raptor paddock is so much smaller than the entire area of Klugheim, so there's only so much that they could include into that area with the close proximity to the coaster, as opposed to they could have packed it out more. And I mean, with Klugheim and all of the thematic features of Klugheim encompassing the entire area, effectively, just naturally, the entire ride gets included as well.
Yeah.
So thematically, Taron does have that advantage. And I do kind of just think the scale of the rock work in Klugheim and just the blatant, just aggressive nature and shaping of the rock work, it's been made to reflect the basalt rock walls in Iceland and streams throughout Iceland and stuff. It just by nature it looks. I had been told. Well, I was just properly curious as to like it's such a distinctive shape to those rocks. They must have come from somewhere, and I happened to find out that Iceland has a lot of creeks and streams and rivers with rock faces that are exactly the same shape. That's what
it's like. It reminds me of like Giant's Causeway, but massive.
So because reason they went for that, it turns out Taron does have a theme.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So the theme for Taron is that Taron is powering the village from the Earth's core. Yeah. Hence the red pit. At nighttime.
That's one thing in terms of, because what you're talking about is the story, like the visual, the significance of the scenario based, existence of Taron, and that's one thing that I deem to be a little bit of a drawback thematically, because you can't tell.
I had to.
You have to go home, get on your computer, and research it.
But that's Phantasialand, isn't it?
Once I knew that, it was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
They could do a little bit of a better job telling that story while you're experiencing it.
We had this discussion with Harry from Coasterbot when he come on, weren't he? Because he was saying like how it's like it should be told.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I do like, yeah, there's no harm in telling that story, but then there's also like the mystery of it and the kind of like why, like, I don't know, I think that adds something to it. And I think that's for me, for someone who likes films that don't spell every single thing out to you, like a Marvel film, like, you know, so much exposition. Like, I kind of like that bit of intrigue in some things. And I think, and I mean, let's be honest, like with Velocicoaster, like, there's not much story there. Like, there's the only story you're told is like when you're in that big queue with the screens, where it's just like, we've built a coaster in the paddock. Cool, that's the story. Like, that's literally it. There's no other story, and everyone knows Jurassic World and Jurassic Park.
You're not wrong.
So it's a very easy story to tell. But I don't know. It would be nice if we had some pre-show. But also, it's like sometimes I've seen pre-shows that just make it worse. Like, you know,
they just exist for the sake of existing.
Like Ophakanen is a bit weird. Their pre-show, like they've got like a whole. They literally tell a document. They've got a documentary series in the queue line, and it was just boring at the end of the day. I was like, they literally go back from when this castle was getting built to like all the way up to this curse and stuff, and it was cool and everything. But I'm like, sometimes there's a little bit too much exposition. But,
it comes down to just the, I suppose, the specific approach to execution of the scenario or the outright story, if there's a story to tell. It comes down to the execution, because whether the story is convoluted and, you know, interesting and unfolds itself and has a good amount of layers throughout the entire experience, or if it's something just very simple in the form of how Velocicoaster's scenario unfolds, it's about the execution. And like Velocicoaster's story, while being could be quite simple to understand, is executed just as well as it needs to be in the world of Jurassic Park. And it's I guess like you look at it from the perspective of how the scenario fits into what's already there in the area, in the park, and how it fits with everything else, and it kind of just works for what it is. Like I think in that sense. Whereas with Taron and Klugheim, and again, like it's different perspectives, isn't it? Like what you just explained about liking the mystery behind something, not being told everything like immediately. I can definitely see how that can be like attractive in, you know, in experience and attraction and moving through it.
Yeah.
So it's man, these are the kind of conversations I was waiting for to have with you guys. This is the shit.
James is saying if you have to go online and research and listen to the theme, then the theme has failed. But the theme is not what we're talking about. The theme is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah,
you're talking about the story.
Yeah,
the story doesn't have to be
real underlying story of the
you're talking about the story. So
and then that's also
there's so many films I love. Like, so two films that spring to mind that are really just like mess with your head is probably The Witch, which is like about witches, but which is about witches. Which is about
really.
But you can watch that film and it's just a feeling. You just have this feeling, and it doesn't. There's no like. There's a base story around it, but there's a mate like. I love David Lynch films, and they don't make any sense most of the time. And then some of the fun stuff about that is then talking to people about them and going like, how do you think that film was about? So it just depends which way you're coming at it. If you want to go into a ride and experience like a blockbuster kind of Marvel-esque like story, then yeah, you might not be into it. But then like if you like something that the story's a bit like not all there and stuff, like it's I mean, like if you look at Baron, for example, everyone goes on about how good the theme of that ride is. You're not really told much about that whole backstory about it when you're in the ride. It's not until you look about it afterwards, but you have this feeling. And I feel like with Whole of Klugheim and Whole of Taron, it kind of just speaks for itself in a way. Like you don't really have to know, but you know you're in a village. You know that this machine is running through a village. And I think that's enough. And for 90% of people who are riding that coaster, they do not care about the story. It's only us geeks who really care about the story. Let's be honest. So I don't agree that the theme fails if it has to be explained.
Like not at all. And like to add to that, like this is why I think like you can't just be so absolute with looking at execution of theme and storyline and and visual storytelling like that. Just because like there are so many different perspectives that can be applied to one's own experience of theme and storylines and things of that nature when it comes to themed attractions. And Roller Baz and Coaster Dad said something just then, like if you need a created backstory, it's there. If you want to write your own, you can as well.
Yeah,
and like the thing with my experience and my reception of Klugheim and everything it and everything it includes has nothing to do with the storyline.
No.
because I didn't know about it until I read about it after the fact. But it was all to do with the soundtrack and just the visuals of all the visuals of all of being in that area and everything. Like I just had my own sort of reception of where I was in the world, basically, because you are in an entirely, like handcrafted world, which you can form your own just scenarios and storylines and plot twists and all of that. Like it's. And that's another thing, as what I was saying, Sean, just about I understand like the air of mystery behind not being told the storyline, like just straightforward, because then everyone's experiences of it are different. And
it's like reading a book, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone has a really uniquely bespoke experience in that sense.
It's like when you read a book, and most of the time, books are never as good as the film because you have this whole story and world created in your own head that is so different to everyone else's because you've interpreted it. So I mean, we're going well deep here, but
this is what theme parks on this level do, though.
That's what I mean.
They bring these emotions and experiences and conversations out of people who care about this shit. But
with all due respect, we're at 22:10. We need to get through the rest of this park. So
I will say one more thing about Klugheim, though. Everywhere you stand, everywhere that park puts you in the view of that ride is an absolutely beautiful setting, no matter where you stood. And that's what my takeaway was. It was just stunning to look at from any angle, from any pathway. Even when you see a little bit of Taron from your room, when you're looking at Charles Lindbergh, you just see the top of Taron, and it's just like, oh, there's Klugheim.
This is why I'm so looking forward to Rockburg, because to me, when I look at pictures of Rockburg, I'm like, it's what I imagine Klugheim to be like in the future.
Yes.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like Klugheim in the future. So, but yeah. So Black Mamba. Let's go
Black Mamba. Right. Okay. First ride, because the last being invert that I read was Nemesis. So I was going into this with a fresh view of Nemesis in my head, and I do like Inferno the way it rides at Fort Park as well. So I was like, I'm pretty excited to ride this. So we get on the going down. Just going to Black Mamba is ridiculous. It's
such a good queue.
It's so cool. But bit of a warning though: before the steps, watch your feet. Seriously.
I know what you mean.
So there's a height board, and then you go down some steps. There is a dip in the floor.
It's a dip in the floor.
Almost stacked.
You said we wanted to be helpful.
I literally almost ate shit down those stairs.
Also, quickly, back to flies 1 second. In the queue line at night, you can't see the coals on the floor, so just watch where you're going. Seriously, like you don't want to end up hurting yourself. But anyway, yeah. So Black Mamba, go down there in the station, looks awesome, proper old school. I got like vampire vibes for some reason. Like when we got like as well as the station, the coloring and how dark it is, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, and then we set off up, clack up the chain lift hill, and then we hit that drop. That drop is amazing. That drop is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Just swinging out.
Yeah.
After you leave the lift like on B&M like you do, and then just swing out straight.
Where was you on this first ride? Where were you?
We were mid, right? Mid.
Yeah.
We didn't get much choice with Black Mamba actually. We only read it a handful of times. So
did you get one front row ride at least?
No, didn't.
Oh, man. Okay.
We asked as well.
So when we were in the queue, we were going to be front row, and then quick pass came.
Oh,
yeah. And they got put in front row.
So
instead.
Frustrating.
And that was at night.
Yeah,
that's fucking annoying.
But yeah,
I was bracing for the 0G because obviously I'd just come off NEM. Not come off them, but the last ride was NEM. So I know that I was on the edge of the seat, the train as well. So I know I'm going to get thrown into this. I was so surprised how smooth that B&M invert is. It's ridiculous. And then from there, it was just a floaty, beautiful experience. It was so nice. Whippy in transitions in some areas, but it wasn't whippy to the point where your head would whip. The train would just go through it at such a nice pace. Loads of helixes. I love the helixes and the flat spins. It was just so much fun. It was a really fun ride. I came off that pleasantly surprised. It's not better than Nemesis, in my opinion, but
no, it's not.
That's because it's not as forceful as NEM, I think. But we rode it at night, and that was different.
So we were in row 3.
Yeah, we were in row 3, so we've not even ridden on the back or the front, but we rode it at row 3 at night, and it just felt like, again, it just felt so much.
It had picked up intensity.
It had, big time. My advice would be, if you go in for the winter event, then do get on Black Mamba at night. During the day, it's very smooth, very relaxed. It's nice into its elements. It's very fluid, very B&M, very graceful around its course. At night, it does haul through that course a lot more. And especially in the inversions, I noticed there was a lot more whip in the inversions at night. But overall, it was a good ride. Very good B&M invert. Better than Inferno, in my opinion. It does more, to be honest.
Mate, so much better. So, like, I don't know, going back to maybe it's because of the day we went on when it was like super flipping hot. But like our first ride, we got all so lucky because our first ride we got on it, we got front row.
Oh wow.
And yeah, like we got on it probably like midday, and it was just like so flipping intense. Like it was insane. But for me, I feel like that. Most inverts are front row, but even like Nemesis, you can get away with not being front row because you can still see, you can still see quite a lot. But I feel with Black Mamba, because it's so in the terrain that you just you're doing if you're not on the front, you'll just get a blind ride on it basically. But if you go on the front, like it's so crazy because you are so close to everything. And there's like little village things set up everywhere, and like you see like a proper like little. You're going for. Like,
they had the animals. They had the
they had like
they had the
Lightopia animals out. They're not Lightopia.
The hippos.
Hippos. Shouting hippos every time I run. But the brake run, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's a bit weird, that isn't it?
It slams into the brakes.
It slams you, but then slams you into just a pitch black room.
It
like
slams you and then slams you again, though.
Like, yeah.
I think we were on one train at night, weren't we? I think so. We were straight into the station from the brake run the second time. The first time was on 2 trains, and we were just sat there in darkness, like, what's going on? It's ridiculous. I didn't even know where we were, like, because I didn't know it was right in front of us. I thought we were going to do a turn, or it just went straight in.
Just a big door opens. And
door opens, dun, 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 and then you're in. It's as good as that. But fantastic B&M invert, love it. Definitely ride it every time you go. Don't miss out on it. Don't skip it. Quality ride.
So good.
So probably Luke's favorite coaster actually out of the entire park.
So
now
Colorado
Adventure.
Where do you want to go?
What? Just before we get to Colorado, I found the question. The Adventure Trail.
Oh,
Trail.
That was good.
Did
So
you happen
much
to
fun.
get through it?
Yeah.
So much fun.
And there's multiple ways you can go around. We figured
Loads
out
of
as
different
well.
routes, yeah.
So many different ways.
I'm
Just
still yet to
because
do
it's
this
winter,
myself.
by the way,
They don't.
they still try and get you wet, so be careful. I was about that far from being soaked.
There's a moment in the adventure trail. If you ever played the Sonic games or like Rise of Resistance, when the cannons go like that, there's water firing, but then if you go too far, another jet will activate. And then if you go try and go back, the one behind you will activate. So you have to time it in between jets, like you're playing Crash Bandicoot or Sonic when you're jumping. It's really cool.
While balancing on a beam, by the way.
Yeah, while balancing on a beam, on a wet beam. That was another thing as well. I was expecting the beams to be slippy, but they really weren't. Like there was so much grip. I didn't slip once on the adventure trail, not once. But
that's good.
Did get lost.
That's good attention to detail.
Yeah, so me and Lev managed.
Well, I was filming, James. I was filming Black Mamba because it's such a good place to film.
So we only went like a little bit ahead of them.
You went up though. We didn't go up. We went round because I was filming.
We ended up. We were waiting probably a good 15 minutes, and we were like, is there a second exit to this? Because like, where the fuck are they?
And we found this room that you could change the route of everyone else by moving these boards. So people would come in, you can move the boards, and then people would come in and go back round. So me and Pete were just like laughing at people just getting lost. Yeah, you can do that. If you get in there, you can just turn them and move them. And like people were walking into the other boards and stuff. It was really funny. We made a little labyrinth. It was quite funny actually. But then we headed out. The ending. Oh my god, the roller slide is awesome. It's so much fun.
Can't wait.
It is great. Honestly, Sean. Make sure you take your camera in there with you, man, though, because the shots you get.
This is what I was literally about to ask.
That's what I want.
The photographer in me wants to know: are there a bunch of photos?
You could spend a day in there, Mikhail.
And you're allowed to just stop, right? You can just stop. Right?
There wasn't any staff in the actual
places. There's places for people to get past, and you can. There's like rope where you're not supposed to go past, but if you just kind of put yourself around it and let people pass you, you can. It's not a problem. I never got questioned or anything, so. And everyone seemed fine with it. Like, go past.
Amazing views in there.
Well, if you do let people go past, though, will take you longer to get through it, obviously, because there's elements like the slide at the end. There's a big queue for that at the end, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, just be wary of that when you're going around. It will take you a little while to get round if it's quite busy.
So Colorado, I want to hear your thoughts on this because
back row was Colorado at night, first ride because it was closed.
Oh my god, night!
Yeah. So
I can't even imagine what that thing is like at night.
They had it closed all day.
Yeah,
we were like, why the fuck is it closed? Turns out, when we got into the station, there was wet paint signs, and the paint was tacky. They had been painting the station throughout the day.
What?
You've got a closed season coming up in a month. Why are you painting the station?
I don't know. Maybe it's some nasty graffiti or something. I don't know, but it was funny. It was an experience. So back row, we all sat in our own. You sat with Lev, didn't you? I sat on my own. Pete sat on his own. We were back row, and we're going up. Like before you know it, you like
what a way to experience that ride for the first time.
The front of the train has gone over before I'm even halfway up the lift hill. Like it's just whoa, straight over, kick to the left, down around Chapas, all the way around, and then but the best moment on that ride, the best moment is when you come off that second lift hill and you hit that tunnel. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Back row, you are floating out of your
fucking
seats.
Flung out of that thing.
And the lap shouldn't be illegal, really.
It's just a ratchet lap. It's like big fun.
It should not be allowed.
Ridiculous.
It's amazing.
I remember coming off that going, I've not been that scared since like the first time we did the big one. You do that first drop when you ever first do it, and you're just like, what the fuck? How are we allowed in this?
Yeah.
It's insane and it's bonkers.
But doing it at the front, get ready to lean left and be stood up, pretty much all the way around. That is what happens at the front.
Yeah,
I would think I'll ride it.
It's not a kids ride, Emma. It's not.
It's not.
It's also a kids ride.
Be careful if you have someone else in the seat with you. brace if you are on the left, because I almost broke a fucking rib.
Yeah. and Lev's small. Like, he's a thin lad, so he just whacked him. I heard him and went, "Oh, I just broke a rib."
I didn't break a rib, but it felt like it.
What's that? You think? It's going over the lip still. It's just ridiculous.
And Matt, duck.
Don't put your hands up. Yeah, duck.
No, duck.
Cover your head.
Lev's probably about the same height as you, and he had he had an incident.
There's projection, as projection is saying as well. There's an overbanked valley.
Yeah.
In the final like helix, like before you hit the brakes. Yeah. Like everyone's on the left now. Like, everyone's on the left side of the train.
Yeah. There was an incident with a tree, Matt. That's all I'll say. There you go.
Yeah, tree. Yeah, we'll look out for a tree. I think it was after the second drop.
No, it was just after the third lift.
Yeah,
so Matt is coming with us to Phantasialand.
Is he?
Yeah, so it's me, Joe, Matt, Chris, and Gemma. So we're all
nice.
So it's so good because to see Matt be there for the first time is going to be insane. It's just so much better when you experience a park that you've been to with someone else.
It's just like had it.
You guys are staying at Charles Lindbergh, right?
Yeah.
I need a video of him walking into the rooms at Charles Lindbergh.
Oh yeah,
is it gonna fit on them beds?
I think he probably
gonna have to move the telly.
No, it's fine with them.
He's gonna have to kick the telly over.
Isn't Matt like 6'5" or some shit though?
Lev is close to that. So literally, like Lev walked up to us, like first time we've ever met him, and I was just like, "Hi." I was not expecting him to be that tall.
Did I miss this, Vix? You're coming too, are you? I didn't know this. You and Jack. That'd be amazing if you can have that. That'd be so good.
Everyone needs to. Everyone.
1919 will be rammed that night.
All right.
And Chris proposed to Gemma at Phantasialand as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
I remember him telling me that. It is that kind of place. It is that kind of place. I want to take my mum there, honestly, like because it is that kind of park that
it's beautiful.
So moving through the rides.
Where are we going now?
My baby.
I love
it. James, talk to me about Talican, because I have some stories.
Yeah, the first time James went on with Lev, I just had breakfast, so I was like, I don't want to. Like, I've got other rides to do yet. We still haven't done all the rides yet, so I was like, I just had breakfast. We went back at dinner time, just after dinner time. We went on then. The fucking James, tell people where the entrance is for this ride, please. Like, explain.
So, all of them amazing pictures you've seen of looking down at the ride. That is just a walkway. It is not an entrance.
Yeah.
Do not try and find that.
Mm-hmm. It's not like Ramesses.
Head
not
towards
like
Chiapas. There's a restaurant. It's behind the restaurant, up in the corner.
Hidden. It's so Phantasialand
down in that courtyard area.
Next to the tapas restaurant.
It's ridiculous. It's so cool.
It is hidden away.
What I liked as well is when you're in the queue inside, they play another soundtrack inside, which is different, and it builds up the hype as well. And all you can hear is woof, woof, woof. And you see like this little shadow in a crack in the door, just going round. The restraints are amazing. I'm a big lad. Not a problem whatsoever. No problem. Straight in, really comfortable. Lots of room as well.
You can't look to either side of you because
you can't see over the restraints, but it's like, are you there?
Hello.
Yes,
but then, to be fair, you don't need to.
No, you don't.
Like, everything is in front of you.
So obviously you're then in a pit. Everyone's watching you on the top. It's really exciting, and then you're off.
We were facing out.
We're facing outwards as well. Yeah,
walkway. We weren't facing.
Yeah. And did we get 6 or 5? We got 5. 5. Yeah, that was enough. It was crazy. It was fucking mad, right? So we're pulling back, and I'm just getting flashbacks of Ripsaw and Ramesses. So I'm not ridden a top spin for so long.
Yeah,
getting them vibes, and then that music hits, and when the music goes, it goes hard, and then the flames start, and It locks you, you spin round, and then you do your 5, and you come back down, and then it starts all over again. Then you go the other way, and you do another 5.
Yep.
And then it does another fucking upside down all the way around, and then
man, it's
boom at the end. But
it's a bit of an ordeal if you're not ready for it.
The soundtrack while you on that ride makes you feel like a conductor, like because every movement you make on that ride is followed by a sound. So if there's an explosion, it's like you could just pull your hands out and there'd be fire. Like you feel like you are throwing fire when you're on that ride. So good. I don't like rides that spin. I don't like drop towers and shot towers. I don't like flat rides. I'm not a big flat ride fan. But that was another level. That just took me back to like riding Slammer back in the day. That just took me back to riding Ripsaw. It took me back to Ramesses Revenge when we did it with Towers Times. That time when we went down south with South Parks down there. It was fucking incredible. Such a good flat. If you like me, you don't like flats, please try and get on it. You've got to get on it. Don't miss out on it.
Yeah, we missed it. Yeah. We did. We didn't have enough time to do it.
Honestly, don't miss out on it. It's, Mystery Castle. Shit.
Mystery Castle?
Mystery Castle, I love. So,
we're gonna have to fly through these rest of the rides because I want to get back to Sam's question earlier.
Even if it is a dead day, Mystery Castle will not do its long cycle until after 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just what they do. They even if they know it's going to be dead, they'll wait till after 2 p.m. before doing the longer cycle.
Yeah.
So if you want the longer cycle, wait until after 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Short cycle.
No,
doesn't give you warning. To be fair, so it is quite intense, even for the short cycle.
No, it doesn't. So she rechecked my restraint, and she literally walked off. And before she'd even got into the control booth.
We were at the top of the tower. So,
goodbye. And I hate drop towers and shot towers. I can't like say this enough. I hate them.
Oh, you one of them?
Yeah, I'm one of them. I don't like them. But because I wanted to do it once, right? I wanted to do it. I wanted to try and experience it. I hate that feeling. But we got to the top and the effects were really cool. The music was really cool. It was exciting. But just look, it's so surreal looking down at darkness and you're going like 60 odd mile an hour just flying down. Like
it is such a great take on a drop tower experience.
It's brilliant. It's
the way you face it, the way you're facing all of the other all of the other ride vehicles as well, and you can see other people's reactions and shit. Like,
Emma's comment, sorry. I never knew it did a shot, literally was straight down and we fucked off.
Yeah. My soul is in Brule somewhere. Like on top of Mystery Castle. I didn't do the long cycle. I was like, that's I've done it. That's good. It's cool. But James did it. James, how was the long cycle for you?
I really enjoyed long cycle. So long cycle, it still takes you by surprise, but it isn't a full shot to the top on the long cycle first.
It's so high.
But when you do the full shot to the top, it gets about halfway up at one speed and then just kicks into a whole new gear.
Yeah.
And then just gets even faster. I swear, I felt like I wasn't going to stop at the top. I was like, that's getting close. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Also, really good. There is projection mapping on that building at night.
I've got that in the vlog.
15 minutes.
The projection map show.
There's a viewing platform which they have constructed on RiverQuest.
You stand on RiverQuest.
What?
They have constructed a platform over RiverQuest's ride area.
That's fucking sick
to watch it.
That's dope.
That's amazing. It's so good. I would watch that show actually. If you're going for the event, watch that show. It's really clever.
For sure.
Castle and it's really good.
Yeah.
And what's cool as well, actually, we found out when we were on the bridge to Klugheim, you can see the projection. You can hear the music as well. They play the music in different areas.
Yeah, they've linked in the entirety of Klugheim's sound system to that show.
Mystery Castle.
Nice.
So when they're doing the actual projection, you can hear it, especially on that walkway. It was really good.
All right.
We should go now. Become a madhouse. A Mortal Kombat become a madhouse.
Fengju Palace is a ride just because of how hilarious it is.
Got to do it.
Also, do Geister Rickshaw.
Yes.
Because we don't know how long it's staying for.
Yeah,
it's likely going to be going.
It's awful, but it's worth doing.
It's awful, but it's
terrible, and it needs
such
to go
a rip
yesterday.
Yeah,
it is such a rip-off. It is a rip-off.
The free show with the
god,
the ball flying.
It's the rides in China are they need.
It's
surprising that this all still there, to be honest.
And this is
free show. Okay, I think I get it. No, wait, there's more. Yeah, it definitely is.
You go through that like 4 times. Like that train of thought you have about 4 times in the pre-show.
Yeah.
It's first of all, it's that long, and secondly, it's so long.
Right.
It's that convoluted. But
what was actually I want to get your let's move on to Crazy Bats, just because it's an interesting one.
Yeah. I really want to get to
we haven't got that much time left. So Crazy Bats.
So
I
VR.
Really enjoy it.
Well, I suffer from travel sickness quite badly. So, and I didn't get to ride Galactica with VR. I had VR on, it didn't work. It was just a black screen when I did it, which was a shame. So this was my first proper VR roller coaster experience, and
if you've ridden it, you'll get that reference.
If you'll get that if you've ridden it. There's a sneeze at some point, and it does take a long time for it to happen. But you fucking the VR and the way the coaster work together is really well done. It's clever. I just think it goes on for a little bit too long for me. I got towards like the 3/4 of it, and I was like, I need to kind of take this off for a second.
Very long. I even had a VR, so yeah.
But it's very clever. It's exciting. It adds to it. I think it adds something to it.
It tracks well with the coaster.
Tracks really well. It does track really well.
I'll say that.
What do we think is the future of that ride? Do we think could we see that?
With the fact that it's in the same building as Hollywood Tour, I feel like it is going to go.
I would be happy. I would be happy if they leveled them both.
Yeah,
I would.
The way that they've implemented the VR is actually quite cool though, because they hand you the headset rather than it being attached to the train.
Yeah.
Do not put it on before you sat down in the train, because if it's working correctly, when you put it on, it will tighten to your head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you put it on before you get on the ride, you're kind of fucked.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it makes you. There's a backward section as well in Crazy Bats, isn't there? And they executed that well with the VR as well. It was really good. Just got a little, like I say, just got a little bit too much.
I think they're just trying.
Oh, he wants to talk about Windjust,
and then Windjust.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. That needs to be because it's such a good experience. I love it.
Yeah, Windjust. So I went in blind, completely.
Windjust is great. It's so much fun.
Fear and Force, is it?
Yeah, Fear and Force.
Did we do Force first?
We did do Force first.
I can't remember which one.
Surprisingly, isn't very forceful.
No.
So
if you
want to spin,
Fear.
Do not go on Force for it. Well,
go
go on Force, but you won't get spinning from it.
No.
It is very, very, very stable with the layout.
Which one's the one that I can't remember? Which one's on that tilts?
Without spoiling it too much.
Force.
Force has the better trick
element.
Yeah, the trick. Yeah.
Fear is
an amazing layout.
Fear is the better one of the two.
Yeah, for sure it is. It's fantastic. But the start of that ride, I've never experienced a roller coaster with so much anticipation going down a really small drop. It was just mad.
I've never experienced a roller coaster that slams on the brakes as hard as it does.
Yeah, when it moves into the lift, be braced.
You literally go forwards and it's just donk. And getting off the ride, it does not fuck about. The train is
it throws you out. And like when you hit the brakes, fuck off. It's good, but it's a quality. They're both really, really good. It's such a clever ride. It's inspiring how clever it is. It's inspiring.
I love that whole building. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, the fact that it's fully indoors. It's such a cool building.
I got really big Epcot vibes on that little part of the park. I don't know why. It just kept on hitting me. I don't know why. Just ever so often. But it was so cool.
It might be because there used to be a massive geodesic dome there.
Oh, maybe it was the soul of that thing.
Where Flyers was
where Ruckberg is. Yeah.
That's mad. It is a mad coaster. Like, just do them both. Do them back to back if you can.
They're both.
The spinning isn't too insane. It's not like spinball spinning. Although we did get it moving. We did get it moving.
On Fear. Fear definitely did.
Fear definitely move.
For sure.
The drops are fun. The airtime's great. And it's very smooth as well, other than the brakes. But it's very smooth. Very smooth coaster.
And the elements that they have throughout are very, very fun.
The first
I did not know anything about them too.
I didn't.
And I went on it, and it really took me by surprise.
Yeah, fucking free. I thought something had gone horribly wrong at one point.
Was that the final bit before you got off?
Yeah. No, but before that. But that did take me by surprise as well. Yeah, for sure.
So, any other standout moments from that 2 days?
Chapas was cool.
Oh yes, forgot to talk about
Chapas. Amazing as usual. It was very cold. Got me
more
very
wet than
I was expecting.
You'll see how wet Lev got in the vlog. I won't spoil that. He got absolutely.
Don't sit at the front if you don't want to have a wave come over you.
I thought it was meant to be didn't get you wet in the winter.
It still does.
I was sat mid carriage and I got piss wet for it.
The bit that Lev got wet on wasn't even a drop. It was coming off of one of the lift hills. A wave came over.
Let's talk about them lift hill speeds, shall we now? That is ridiculous. It's like a launch going up there.
Yeah, I'd say let's talk about how uncomfortable it is to sit in them. How cozy were you guys? What you want to?
You are very close.
You were so close to the person in front. You are literally like.
Yeah,
which was you getting cozy with the person in front and behind you.
It was fine, like this time because I knew everyone.
Yeah.
When I went before, I didn't know. And I'm about that far from the back of them. That was kind of awkward. Yeah,
I was laughing the whole way around. That thing is just makes you smile. Just the music, the speed of the tracks,
party room.
Yeah, party room, great.
Just when you do that slide,
I didn't expect the backwards. Yeah, I didn't feel that. I didn't expect that backwards drop to be as big as it was and as steep as it was. I was like,
and that transfer table it has.
Yeah, that yeet. You literally just go.
Main thing I'd say for going, to Wintertraum is make sure you look out for the shows.
Yes,
they do have the times on the boards around.
They do.
Ruckberg does 3 shows, 5, 6, and 7 p.m.
Are these the light shows?
Yeah. So
not
Chiapas,
the actual performer shows.
Chiapas, the Tiempo de Fuego, that is at 7:30. So it is you are watching that show and you're not doing any more rides because of the queue close.
But
overlaps.
Second night, everyone was watching the show. We were riding the fuck out of Taron.
So when everyone's watching the show, if you are there for more than one night, it's great.
Avoid Mexico. Avoid that area.
And watch out for Talacan if you're wanting to do that, and Chiapas because they close a lot earlier.
6.
Talacan the first night closed at 6. It didn't the second. For some reason.
It didn't. No,
but the first night it closed at 6.
Yeah.
And walking through Berlin, we had quite a nice surprise because we actually left. Boostown just as they were doing the main switch on for the lights.
Switch on.
If you look out for it because it is actually a beautiful moment.
It's stunning.
It was so nice. And I think they repeat it throughout the night as well. They turn the lights off and redo the show.
I will say I filmed a lot. I filmed every show, but I've left spoiler warning. I've put spoiler warnings up before I actually show any of it. It's like, this is your 10-second warning. Skip.
Yeah.
So because it was worth filming, and where I got filmed from was cool.
Sometimes you have to do it. It was like when I did A for Carnan. I was like, how do I explain this ride without spoiling it? Here's a spoiler warning. Skip to this time code. I cannot talk about this.
The way we experienced the Ruckberg show was
the first night. Yeah.
Oh my
goodness! Access to the hotel.
So if you see it from the balconies.
If you go into Tower C, you can go all the way to the top floor.
Let's go
from the famous bench.
Here's a little quick route, by the way. When you are staying at Charles Lindbergh, to get to that balcony, if you come in through the going up the stairs through the gate from the actual park,
first left,
the first left through the door and get in the lift, go to the top floor, and then you can walk across the bridge straight to that platform. Rather than doing what we did, which was go all the way round to where our room was and then coming back on ourselves.
About the lifts, James. Tell them about the numbers of the lifts in Charles Lindbergh.
The numbers that are actually on the buttons do not match the numbers that are on the sign.
Okay.
So there is a floor 0. It will be labelled as 1. 2 is 1. 3 is 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Just like because they'll have a list of where everything is and what the numbers are.
Yes, so, you do actually get given a map as well.
Yeah, you do. Which is really cool. It's just an amazing experience. We ate as well at the restaurant. That was phenomenal. The food is
how to get to all your rooms.
That's wild good.
The food is next level. That looks like something out of the Matrix.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, the restaurant's amazing. The food is next level. You'll never experience theme park food.
I was I'm not usually a fan of fancy food, and so I was going into it like might not like this.
We're a bit touchy, weren't we? We were like,
and
it's just want to fill us
had the first bite of I had the pasta parcels for our starter.
Pasta parcels,
and
man.
The entire meal from there was just like, oh my fucking god, this is amazing.
From start to finish.
Just what Matt he asked about the food, but the food park wide, what me and Joe experienced, is really good. So good. Like it's some of the best theme parks
next level
I've had anywhere.
All the way down from the restaurant options, which in my opinion are a bit expensive, all the way down to just the quick service stuff as well.
The quick service stuff, that's all I've had, but they were just so good. Like so
currywurst.
Please tell me you had the jambalaya.
No, we didn't.
I haven't.
Did you guys?
No, we didn't. No.
Yeah, that's meant to be top tier.
Next time.
Next time. In a few months. Going back.
Yeah,
I'm going back
price
in a few months. I'm going back winter next year.
Price wise, really decent. Like
€3.50 for a bottle of Heineken. You can't ask for more than that. It's ridiculous.
And if you're not staying at the park, it's amazing. We went to was it Lidl?
Lidl, yeah.
So yeah, we went to a Lidl.
Oh my god!
First night at the Airbnb. 500ml can of beer, 75 cents.
Oh my god!
It's pale ale.
Yeah,
IPA.
IPA that was like 5.something%. 75 cents.
And it looked like Ride to Happiness. So it was like really cool.
And it was very good.
It was really cool.
Breakfast. Speaking of alcohol. Oh yeah, the breakfast is great. Like
breakfast is quality.
Breakfast. I had French toast, scrambled egg, like a bunch of options. Yeah, it's all you can eat basically.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's so good.
It's a really really good breakfast. Speaking of alcohol, though, can we talk about Bar 1919 a little bit?
The pool table.
That is amazing.
James don't want to talk about the pool table too much.
No, but to be fair, I played very well.
You did play very well. I lost, played better in Fort Park. Yeah, you did. Double shot the black in. That's how you win.
I love that bar so much.
That bar's amazing. And
the steampunk bar.
Like, the staff as well. The staff just are all in character. You can tell. Everyone's in character. Really friendly.
That's the thing.
You had an amazing cocktail, didn't you?
With English as well.
Yeah.
Most staff speak English.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So just make it apparent.
And we had one of our servers come up to us in the restaurant, started speaking German, and just said English, and she's like, "Oh, sorry," and then just started her spiel again in English.
Literally, just turned into someone from like Manchester. It was ridiculous. But it was really good. Yeah, the flatbed Flatbreads by Taran. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I think that one was closed. Actually.
Yeah,
there was a couple of places closed actually. Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Yeah, the flatbread is like it's like I think it's like round by the exit. It's like in that like court bit. That's
so it's the one to the left, which was closed.
Yeah,
the crepe place was open. Yeah, I had that last time I was there. The crepes there are amazing.
They are good.
It's just a quality park, guys. You just fucking get it on a plane and you go. Like just book it.
Good. And we're going. I'm so happy.
I honestly, with what
it's the best park in Europe.
With what we've got, really, that's not open yet in this country. I would heavily suggest getting out there as your first park of the year.
Well, put it this way: me and Joe, we've had this rule for a while now. For the next couple of years, we're not going to go to any other like European parks that we've gone to. But Phantasialand does not count because it's Phantasialand. So it's just like
good.
It's Phantasialand.
The one exception to the rule.
Yeah, because we just want to try and get to new parks all the time.
I wish as someone who likes to take things away from parks. I got a fly fleece. Wearing a fly fleece looks cool.
The merch,
the merch is not brilliant. There's one shop, House of Dragons. It's good job.
Seasonal, I noticed.
Yeah, it's very seasonal.
So
T-shirts only,
we got the fly hoodies. When I was there in the summer, there were t-shirts in that spot. They didn't have the t-shirts there anymore. So, well, I say hoodies, fleeces. But I love the fly fleece. It is amazing. It is very good.
That is good. Yeah, I mean that's better than anything I've seen.
Yeah, it's fully embroidered, amazing quality. Once we converted it to pounds,
also as well, I will say this.
You'd pay 50 quid for that in the UK.
I don't know how they do their t-shirts, but I got a Taran t-shirt and a Fly t-shirt, both large. They fit me completely differently. Even though they're the same size.
Yeah, no.
The Taran one fits me perfectly on my chest, and then I can't
wear my Fly t-shirt anymore.
Down my waist.
One wash and it had shrunk. So get a size bigger.
I hadn't even washed it. Like I hadn't even literally the first time I put it on, sweaty. It was just super tight. I'm like, what the. And I checked the sizes a bunch of times. They're the same size. The Fly one's just way tighter for whatever reason.
I saw when we were there, I looked at the Taran t-shirt and I just noticed it was like that really thin, shitty like t-shirt material. And I was like, I will hate that because it was I just don't like thin t-shirts. It might be different now, but when I was there, I was like, nah. It's like because like from Portaventura, the same. They do like just
like really thin, fucking hell.
And it's just, I'm like, no, I don't want it if it's not going to look good. So yeah, they need to up their game. Them fleeces you've got is the best thing I've seen them actually like make.
They are very good, and
they do a Phantasialand one where it's just the Phantasialand logo, black on black. It looks really nice.
Well, they didn't even like what was it like? They didn't even. I don't know if they do now, but they didn't even sell pins when we were there. And I'm like,
there were quite a lot of pins actually
pins,
at
the ones
kind of stuff,
at the counter. Just
to
the left of the till there was.
I feel like that's what they could do in the Charles Lindbergh Hotel somewhere is get a merch shop in there for it.
Because like they sell loads of like obviously in the Ruckberg chocolate shop. That's great, but it's chocolate. I want to eat it. You know what I mean? Like,
you get
chocolate's fucking good, by the way.
You get chocolate in your room.
Yes, you get a bag of chocolate, and in the lobby for the hotel,
free
opposite
fudge.
the check-in desk, there is a little bowl with chocolates and fudges in there.
Yeah,
help yourself.
Just keep going down there
every time. If you do go back to your room during the day, all you need to do is show the back of your ticket to one of the staff members as you go through the gate, and you go straight through, and then you just show them the other side, and you come back straight through. It's beautiful. It's so good. Quality trip. Cool. Highly recommend. Stay at the Charles Lindbergh at least once in your life. It is an experience you will never forget. As an enthusiast, you'll never forget it.
Best theme park hotel I've ever
pricing wise, it works out really well when you actually realize how much that 3-course meal they give you.
Fuck it, yeah.
Yeah, and park tickets on top. It's like it's mad, isn't it?
Fly fast passes. Access to bar 1919.
I got given to fly fast passes by a German.
Yeah, some random guy was like, Oh yeah, we're leaving. We don't need them, and just gave us some extras.
I was like, okay, cheers.
I think, yeah, that's what me and Jay did. We looked at it first. We was like, oh, this is really expensive, and then we actually ended up like calculating it all together. And then I was like, yeah, but and also you got that amazing experience of being inside.
Oh, not only that. Sorry, forgot one thing. From 9:30 onwards till midnight, you can go in Ruckberg.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
you can walk around the area until midnight.
You go all the way up to the where the portal would be to walk through, basically.
And Matt, do not steal Chiapas chain.
Yeah, Chiapas.
We were So there's a truck in the back of it.
It's got Chiapas
not
chain.
Attached. Is just Chiapas chain just sat there.
Lev picks it up for the lols and it just goes. I'm like, oh, it's hilarious. Honestly, I can't wait for you guys to see this vlog. I'm so excited to get it out. I really am.
Nice one. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the show.
Sorry for going on.
No, we need to do it, man.
You filled all of your bingo cards.
Yeah.
Literally, we could have kept going for another 2 hours. Like it's a shame we didn't. It's a shame we couldn't get to Sam's question that he mentioned.
Yeah,
like earlier on in the show.
We'll probably
that's a whole other conversation that I really wanted to get into, but we have to stop at some point.
I've noted it down. We'll probably go into. It'll probably relate to something else we're talking about soon. But yeah. Well, so yes, we'll be back
bingo
next
card for no reason.
Week. Yeah, we'll be back next week, same time, next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Maybe we'll have some guests on again.
Oh,
we'll see.
Hello.
We'll see.
Oh,
let me check dates now because we're getting next week.
It's Christmas.
Next week is the Christmas episode
special.
Guys.
Oh no, is it?
Next week is the Christmas
special. Shit.
Oh,
so.
Get some more of these.
I'm thinking, guys. Christmas quiz.
Yes.
Christmas quiz.
Christmas quiz. James,
let's have some beers out.
Let's get the QIL on. Come on, James, you can do this.
I can't. I can't do another Christmas quiz last minute.
You can do it.
Like
you can do it. It's not last minute. You got a week.
You got a week. Got a week. Doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be really complex. Just make it fun.
15 questions. Fun.
You're good at it.
You are. Isn't he, chat? Let him know he's good at quizzes. Please.
Let's make it. How do you remember how many questions was the last quiz?
I think it was 10 before.
Let's make it no more than 10. We maybe make it. I don't know. Maybe like 10 questions. Don't have to make it. Don't do like how many.
Let's not do a smile.
Has Nemesis got?
All the questions. Yes, all the questions Taran and Fly related. There you go.
Yes. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
If you do that, I'll work on getting some guests on, and we'll have a big
knees up.
I can't believe it's next week.
It's actually my last day of work as well, till after Christmas. Like that's so cool.
So you can have a
proper. I'll just be going on my own at like 3 a.m. or something. Just chatting.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the TED Talk.
Christmas quiz. All right, guys. Anyway, we'll work on something anyway. We'll see what we can do. But anyway, see you later, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.